Would you buy and live in a home where a family got murdered, but is discounted by 60%?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Wait, maybe we should ask a bit more. Who died? Where did they die?
A family got murdered.
The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Not your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
What's up, y'all? I'm Marvelous,
And I'm not your average Joseph.
and we are the Podical Sons. Let's start the show. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above, all streaming platforms possible. Podical Sons Podcast. You can see these lovely faces on Spotify, YouTube, and stuff, as well as the website. So
All
let's
of
start
that.
the show. We got a lovely guest in the studio for us. You gonna tell people about you, or you want me to give you a little warm up introduction?
I mean,
You know, some bootleg Mike. Turn. The Mississauga Money Man, Damian Dollars. Damian Alexander.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm Damian Alexander, CLU, Wealth Management Advisor. Currently working for Legacy Wealth Advisory.
Okay.
We're going to get to the polls. We're going to get into more of what Dame and his business world is all about. So let us proceed with the fun stuff. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So first poll of the week was, during these trying times, which holds more weight, friendship or money? And according to the polls, friendship won at 70%.
Friendship. I jumped in on friendship when
You jumped in on
when we
friendship?
talked about it.
I had a war at work
Did
waiting
you?
for me.
Did you?
Waiting for me. So most of my people's at work
Yeah.
went with the money.
They went with the money.
Went with the money.
Mm.
What weighs more?
Definitely friendship, man.
Friendship?
Money comes and goes. Like I
So
mean,
go. Okay,
Go
go
ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
a good friendship, it can last. It can last forever, man. Like if you have a good friendship,
Mm-hmm.
someone that kind of knows you when you're down. Like money doesn't know me like that.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing I asked Smooth and stuff like last week. Have you sacrificed not making money to be depressed with a friend?
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I mean, I made the money eventually, but it was
yeah.
paused. It was paused.
It was paused.
It was
Yeah.
paused. Yes, definitely.
It was paused because
definitely.
some people want stuff. I feel like, and the same thing I was saying to Smooth and stuff, whatever. I feel like a lot of people would have the tenacity to say like, "Fuck, I'm gonna binge watch this show,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be tired, but I'm still gonna wake my ass up and go to work."
Okay.
When then somebody might come home from work and their friend would be like, "Yo, what are you doing? Just come by for a few hours and stuff like that." Whatever. They're more likely to probably pass on that offer, right? So it's kind of like with the friendships and the bonds, people should be working and stuff to kind of keep these things and stuff to kind of together. The nurses at work had a feeding frenzy.
Really?
They had a feeding frenzy. One nurse, she looked at me dead ass. She's like, "Good morning. Saw your poll for your podcast. How are you?" I'm like, "Great." She's like, "Money all the way." I was like, so I'm like, don't just speed past that like you just gonna say money. She's like, "I know you're gonna say I'm a bitch, but I saw it and I'm gonna say money." Because she said, as far as she knows, most of her friends and stuff, whatever, they tend to dwindle off. She's like, as a child, she puts like even her college years, more kid years.
Right.
She's like, as a child, you had an army of friends. You had a bag of friends. And you start realizing like who's real and who's not. So that you tend to call the herd.
Right.
But she said, you're in a point now, whatever. She said for her, come to like approaching the 50s mark for her, it's just her and her spouse. Her youngest is in university and her oldest and stuff is already like in the workforce, went to school and is already doing her thing and stuff, whatever, right? So she's like, it's just me and my spouse.
Their spouse is their friend, though.
Do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? All right, so let me ask you this. If your woman is your friend or your best friend,
Right.
would you send her twerking videos of another woman and stuff on the gram or something like that? Or
I mean,
even
the
porn?
woman that I'm looking for, I hope I can.
Oh, we all hope that. We all hope that.
Wait,
We all hope
it
that.
doesn't work that way. Is that
You're
what
gonna
you're saying?
no.
I would hope I can at some point, like that. I'm that close as a friend with her.
So I think and I kind of use like his wife as kind of like the bar for me in my world, because his wife, she's not partial on giving anybody a compliment, men or women.
Yeah.
So she'll see a hot woman, she probably like, she'll call me, or it's like if we're like all of us together, she's like, holy shit, you see that girl in that silver dress with the fat ass? You might get a woman like that, and that's a rarity, because I feel like that, and I might be generalizing, a lot of women, they compete too hard with each other.
Right.
So it takes a real secure woman to give somebody a compliment. And I've seen his woman like walk up to women, be like, you're wearing this dress, you're killing it, you're owning it.
Yeah.
I seen other women be like, I was with a woman one time and stuff, and like this is when she's kind of set the bar for me. I went out on a date with a woman, and then I didn't see the woman, but she saw the woman first. So just some chick had like an orange, yellow kind of color dress.
Right.
And the ass was shaking like it's like Caravana in the dress while she walked, whatever, right? So then I'm looking at the menu because we're in a restaurant, and she's like, damn, she got a fat ass. She didn't have to wear that dress. I looked up and stuff. I was like, she kind of did, but you know. So I went back to the menu and stuff, whatever, right? So I was like,
there are levels, you're right.
She's like, I like that dress and stuff, whatever. So I'm like, just ask her where she got the dress from, whatever. You don't know her. You could probably get it and then rock it somewhere else. If we were out on a date in like Saga, so I'm like, you live in the East. Probably nobody in the East might have that dress. Just ask her and stuff, whatever. No. So she thinks she feel like she's all of that. I'm like, well, goddamn.
Damn.
Okay, but would you do the same if you see a guy with some sneakers? You say
yes,
oh,
and
you know, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I do that. You're right.
Exactly. We cut a little bit different.
We cut a
little bit different.
Now that I think about that, I've seen. Yo, where'd you get the sneakers?
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, those kicks, they look proper. Where you get them from? I got them from here. We got them from all the day. Okay, cool. Women, it takes a real secure type of woman. So now, bring to the friend thing, whatever. Be like, I think porn is not taboo anymore, but I still feel like porn is still a touchy subject amongst specific couples.
Okay.
Because I feel like, let's say we'll use him as an example. Well, let's say, you know, him as a married man and stuff, whatever. What if his wife sees him looking at Asian porn, right? She's not an Asian woman.
Right.
Some women might feel a type of way and stuff. Is this what I think when women say that passive aggressive shit, it always scares me. This what you like? So if I have the phone in my hand, she's like, this what you like? It'd be like, oh no, like, you know, like somebody sent it to me. Or, you know, Marv, he's a pervert. He sent me this stuff just to show me something in the background to be like, so you watch porn on your phone? Be like, no. No,
where's this going?
Exactly.
right.
Your friend now. Your real friend now. Be like, oh shit, who that?
Oh my God.
Can I end my thesis statement with that then?
You just, I'm thinking of my group chats, and I'm thinking of what this type of stuff that we're sending to each other, and I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. You got some points there.
In all my group chats and stuff, whatever, like I don't have a passcode to get into my phone, right? And I tell anybody and stuff, especially women and stuff that I'm with or I'm seeing and stuff with them, is like, I don't have passcode on my phone.
Straight up.
But I'm like, I have passcodes to go into like banking apps and specific other type of things and passwords for specific places. But I will tell you this. My group chats and stuff are sacred because they're not just for me, right? Like I look at it stuff as where he might send me something and stuff, but let's say it might be kind of wild and outrageous. I'm not going to have anybody, like if the woman I'm with and stuff be like, who sent you that? Smooth, whatever. Now she wants to go tell his wife, whatever. Right. You won't believe what he sent to Marv. No. You're like, no, this is sacred. I have to keep this sacred for like my peoples. And I know some fodder go out there. I know it might be some gruesome stuff. It might be some sensitive stuff. It might be some perversion. It might be some real stuff. He said it best, and I like how he said, he's like, some people might not understand the language when they see it. So if you have an open text message and stuff with like possibly a female client,
right?
It's right there on the table. You left it. You walked away probably just a few feet. That she, you know, women, their best techniques. Women, ladies, you hear me?
Yeah.
Do not waste your talent on being a private investigator because it's naturally within you, and archaeologist because you know how to dig up some history. And I look at it and stuff as where like someone will see it, whatever, and act like they don't see it, and they be like, probably hold on it, marinate with it.
They're gonna marinate.
And then you have a moment and stuff. Be like, say you pick up your phone and like you even just look like. Bet. So who is that? Oh, is this client? Seal the deal. Felicia. Tell Felicia, bye. This is our time. It's all right. I'm here for you. This is the therapy you didn't think you needed, but you're getting it.
I'm getting it, man. I'm getting it, man.
So like I look at the stuff as I'm not gonna share everything as much with specific like my woman, so to speak, but my friends and stuff will go a different type of way. Now I do look at my woman as a friend because you still got to treat everybody as a friend if they're not like sibling or blood, right? And I look at the stuff as even amongst the friendship bonds that people have. It got rocky during the pandemic.
Right.
The pandemic, a lot of people and stuff either they fell short or they came together and stuff. Some people chose not to get together, but then when the restrictions were done, did they really connect like that? Did they really hook up with the peoples and stuff? Did they make this time? And I feel like a lot of that and stuff hasn't been going on.
Right. Right.
It's more everybody's still trying to make these dollars during this pressing time because, I mean, God bless, we're in Canada where our inflation rate is not as most as like some other places and stuff in the world, but, you know, people are more focused on their coins than anything else. But shout out to all the supporters and stuff that did put 70% friendship and stuff.
That's really good. 70%.
That's good. That's high.
It's high. Yeah. I think also like people, I started doing is like a list of people I gotta connect with that I haven't talked to since the pandemic. Some certain people.
Okay.
Yeah, I started doing that, and I was like, man, I gotta call this guy because usually, you know, nobody wants to be the first to call someone for some reason.
Really?
That's what I feel, man.
Okay.
Like, because I don't. Well, maybe.
No. I mean, for me, my slogan is, if you cross my mind before 9, I'm gonna hit your line.
Oh, really?
That's my thing. Because I don't know, like, if
that's crazy.
After 9 p.m., if you might be in an intimate setting with whosoever, or you might turn in early. I have a friend. He tells me straight goods. He's like, I called him one time like 8:40. He's like, yo, Mark, my bedtime's coming up. Wow. I was like, but you work from home. He's like, boss, my eyes can't stay open and stuff, whatever, for him. Yeah. So I'm not going to try to attempt to call past 9. But like, if it's like 8:15, somebody call, like crosses my mind and be like, oh shit, we didn't speak in a minute. Just checking in, see how you're doing. Don't want much and everything like that. I hit somebody on Friday. I came in from work. I went for a nice little walk to kind of free my mind and stuff, whatever, everything else. And then person crossed my mind. I just dropped her a text message and stuff. This is one of my OGs that I know, Kathy.
Okay, yeah.
So like, you shout out to Queen of Chronic Kathy.
Shout out to Kathy.
So like I was like, yo, I haven't heard from her in a minute. And I was like, you know what? Shot her a text message and stuff like that. And I know she's an older woman and she has grandkids too.
Okay.
Right? But I was like, hey, just seeing, hope all is well and everything like that. Then she sent me a text yesterday. She's like, oh, she was in Alaska and she was here and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, that's what's up. Yeah. And she's like, FYI, you can't bring weed and stuff because she's the Queen of Chronic. Oh, so she's like, she went on a boat thing and stuff like that, whatever. And then she's like, when next you know, whatever, she's there, her peoples, they're smoking. They're like, if we go out to sea and stuff, it's international waters and you could be charged and stuff for it. Wow. She said she never threw the spiff so fast in the water. And
no problem.
She's like, what?
You know, don't want no problems.
I don't want those problems.
No one.
International waters?
Yeah, no one wants a weed charge because now you're considering trafficking. She's like, it was just a joint. They're like, but you probably might have a little bit more on you and stuff because weed is legal and stuff in most parts in Canada.
Right.
So it was an eye opener. But like I said, I don't hesitate to call. I'm more of a talker than any case.
Okay.
And I would just call you, be like, hey, just make sure you're good and everything like that. And I know what I've learned, is especially we've been playing with this friendship topic for a little bit, that in my world, the ones who I consider my strong ones, they are in the situation and stuff. They'll do the check-ins and stuff with me as well. Okay. So it's kind of like one of my peoples and stuff. She hit me. She's like, yo, you crossed my mind. Everything good? Like, yo, we should just wrap up and stuff and talk some stuff. Now shooting the shit with her and like, you know, she's dating and everything. And she's giving me some of the woes and chronicles from a woman's side perspective. And it's hilarious.
I love hearing those.
It's hilarious. Because it shows, like, to me, when I hear her stories or other women's like single stories and stuff, it was like, damn, I didn't really think men were that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, one, she's never doing Tinder and stuff again, because she said when she did Tinder, everybody's profile pic is like them in some boxers. So they're trying to show you the legend of the bulge. So she's like, I could barely see a guy's face. All I saw was like gray boxers and like a hill of dick. So I was like, you poor soul. You poor soul.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, I hope you don't do that and stuff. Like, no. Heaven's sakes, no. Gray jogging pants, I look like a Ken doll, so I'm okay.
But it was Tinder specific though.
Tinder specific, she doesn't deal with, but she says she prefers Bumble and Hinge.
Yeah, okay.
Those ones and stuff for her, she feel like she meets semi-quality caliber of people, but her stories are just her stories. I was just there to laugh.
Story of legends.
Yeah, and then she vented, and then I gave a little thing about my world and stuff like that, and then we both, and then it was freeing.
Right.
And then our bonds is just stronger.
Nice.
So, like I said, like anything that ends in a word ship, you have to put it in work to keep it afloat.
True.
In
Damn.
relationship.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
That's a really good one. Yeah. No, I do have a list now, so
that's good.
I just call to check up. see
Keep
how
up
they're
at it.
doing.
It just takes time.
It takes time. It's actually my father. He used to always do that.
Mm.
Always.
But they come from a book, like a phone book.
Yeah,
like,
he used to
whoa.
have his,
Right.
I still have one of his books.
Yeah, those phone
And
books.
I was laughing. I was like, because he's in California, so I was on Zoom and I was showing it to him, and he's like, "Whoa, where'd you get that? I need that, you know." But
Right.
he
I
goes,
need that.
"Yeah, he needs that." But yeah, he used to literally just call all his peoples, call them, just check in on them. That's it.
Yeah.
For me, my easiest moniker and stuff is like I kind of go in like my messages,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just scroll down to like the last, right? So if I have the number saved, I'll just drop him a line and stuff for be like, "Hey, hope all is well. Don't want much," because a lot of times when people don't hit you enough often,
Yeah.
and then they hit you, you might be like
What is
trying to
this
sell
guy
me
want?
something.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a little check in and stuff for them to see how people's doing and stuff. And I realized that in a person's world goes so far because it's hard for adults to make friends, and then a lot of people don't really have anybody that they can really speak to
Right.
on that level,
Right.
right? So even from the new friendships that I established, it's just a quick check in and stuff, whatever. Like, you cross my mind, hope all is well, and and just keep it pushing.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next poll. So the next poll of the week says, which governs the people more? You had two options were religions and social norms. And social norms came in at 78%
Yeah, I think social norms.
over religions.
Yeah.
That is different. Talk about it. How do you feel about that? Are you okay with that? Does that make you feel different? Do you like...
Not the fact that I'm okay with it, but I understand. I understand why it would be social norms at this point. I mean, people who are looking who is in direct effect and control of their lives, right? And we can pray and we can do all these things that we want
Mhm.
and hope and have faith on that return,
Mm-hmm.
right? But this other social norm, we know it's going to happen. We probably have a time and date when it's going to happen.
Mhm.
And we know we're not going to survive if we don't prepare or follow for it.
Okay. So, all right, let me get your take on it before
I would say social norms.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think when it comes to religion, there's so many things that butt heads with religion. There's so many different areas of religion, and you know, I think social norms is just, I guess, reality. This is what you're living right now.
Right,
This
right.
is what you're doing right now, and you know, I mean, a big social norm is like, I guess, marriage, right?
right.
To move up certain corporate ladders, you need to kind of be married. And it's like, this guy's not married. You know, that's not really...
So you get looked at in a type of way
Yeah,
that you're
looked at
not.
a little differently. You
And
know?
I was telling him, I can't vote for a politician that's not married.
Yeah.
Right. It's a problem to me because I look at the stuff as like, I need a form of structure
Structure.
to see,
Right.
to say like, okay, I don't feel comfortable with knowing that Trudeau and stuff is separated. And like, he's a man just like myself, probably looking for a vagina. And he might even go in bed with somebody that might be a possible spy.
This is very true.
I'm not doubting this because I'm looking at stuff as like,
Let's go down that rabbit hole. Oh, my God. No, because anyways. I don't wanna-
we can go. Because I just look at it stuff as like, it's so iffy and weary and stuff where like specific things like, I like I don't like the full concept of, let's say, quote unquote, the American dream with the house, the picket fence, the 2 kids, the dog, the cars, and stuff like that. But I look at it stuff as where this creates a guide for something. You don't have to fully go through with everything on the list, and don't feel inadequate if you don't hit every checkbox.
Right.
But at least it gave you some kind of guide to say, like, okay, moving forward, you would do this, right? Like, I look at it stuff as where I always look at stuff like, who decides what's socially normal? Right? Because I look at it, if we're talking about something like marriage and stuff now, common law is at an all-time high.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So now, when we're coming to marriage, like, you want to keep it common law. You don't want to, you know? But then you have specific people like, no, I want the traditional aspect. I want you to get down on one knee and all the above. And yes, give me a Rolex. She can give me a Rolex when she gets down on one knee. I'm just joking. I mean, but hey. So, I mean, come on. Woman proposes to you, you're going to take a ring?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Actually, you know, I'm lying. I don't.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard she proposed to you. Damian? You really gonna show me a ring like this? How you gonna show me a ring?
I'll show the Rolex. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Ah!
He'd be like,
He loves me.
you won't even say that. You'd be like,
Wow.
what is that? Is that a Rolex?
What time
She
is it?
proposed? Is that a Rolex? She proposed?
That's a very good one, man. Because me myself, like rings in my ring finger. I broke it. So I can't really get anything past the knuckle.
No. Never underestimate the power of a beautiful, determined woman. Because she'd be like, it's okay, babe. We'll just get a ring size.
We'll figure it out.
Spacer to kind of kill some of that shit. You're going to be all right, boo.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
You're going to be all right.
People don't know Rolexes to say that you're married.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a joke.
Let me ask you, though, look, quick. Do social norms do more harm than good? How do you feel about that? Because if, like you're saying, like, to the religious aspect and stuff, right? Like, I look at it as where we have specific cultures. Like, Canada's a melting pot country as well as, like, America, right?
Right.
And let's say in specific religions, not all, women are treated different. Right? Like, some religions, men come first, women come second. But the social norm and stuff is that the environment is that we are all equal. Equity is what's preached amongst the land.
Right.
Are we gonna just ignore the religious aspect and stuff, whatever, when we see it happen? Like, let's say I've seen, not of the Christian denomination, but say of the Muslim denomination, of, like, I guess a husband and wife reacting to each other and stuff in the public.
Right.
And if I'm with somebody who is not of that faith, they're now looking at stuff and going like, oh, this is how they treat their women and everything. But I'm like, yeah. But she's like, we're not there. We're here and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but their religion has probably been around for eons, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't just displace something and stuff because where you are, but they're like, no, you go by the law, the lay of the land. And we always talk about that. Do you go by the laws of your culture or do you go by the laws of the land? Because the laws of your culture, infama for dead, snitches get stitches and all that type of stuff. But law of the land is like, please call Crime Stoppers.
True.
So it's kind of like, is social norms, do they do more good or do they do more bad? Because for me, I look like it does do good. I would never take that away from some specific social norms.
Yeah.
Like, nowhere in the Bible I've seen, maybe you can correct me because you read more of the Bible than I have and stuff, whatever, that I've seen something where you're supposed to hold the door for a woman. That's a social norm we just adopted throughout the course of time. My question is stuff, because I'm just like a bootleg scientist, is like, where did we get this from? Like, where did that start?
I was about to say, I mean, if you think about it, right? A lot of social norm stuff, or stuff that we've been put into society, has been kind of taken from religion and the Bible. Like, if you look at the Constitution, like, parts of the Constitution.
Look at the U.S. currency. In God we trust.
God we trust, right? So a lot of morals and values, they've pulled from religion and then kind of used that to create social norms within society.
Yeah.
So I think that's where some of it has started from. But, at some point they realized, okay, we can't really get down to business with religion. So that's where the separation
we live in a capitalist
right.
society.
So that's where the separation of religion and state comes in, right? They realize, okay, you know what? At some point, I'm gonna have to get down and dirty and gruesome doing this business. It's not very religious like. So I gotta now separate the two. And I think in separating the two, new social norms have come about.
I was gonna say that. Like the issue with social norms is it's always changing.
Yeah.
It's always changing. So if I'm not feeling this kind of social norm and I gotta change with it, you're kind of left out there in the dark, right?
Right. And see, like religions and stuff, they don't really change too much.
No.
They don't change.
So it's kind of like you have something that's, I want to say, concrete and possible abstract, because it'll constantly like mold and change to like the times, right?
Right.
That's fair. Okay. Dame, you're up, man.
What's up?
Tell us.
Tell you what. What do you want to know, man? What's going on? How I started?
Yeah. So let's take it from the top.
Take it from the top.
How it all started for you. Tell us your background and stuff for it, like from the financial wise.
I started off. The spark came at 12 years old, actually.
Okay.
My father, and I have to really, really, really big up fathers. My dad was always there. He was always in my life, always pushing me, trying to figure out what triggers, what way I'm gonna go.
Right.
What really put me on was the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I used to watch that movie over and over because I saw a black man, and he was in finance. I was like, this is crazy. I don't know if you guys know. I have never seen a movie prior to that where a black man was dealing with money.
Now that you think of it,
I never saw
before Trading Places. No.
Yeah. So when I was watching Trading Places, I loved that movie. And I used to watch it over and over again. That's where I was like, I want to be a stockbroker. I want to do that. But I mean, along the way, other things come into play. And my dad would always kind of push me back. No, I think this is where you should be going.
Right.
I'm like, I want to be a rapper. I want to do this. No. Come back here,
Right.
So I always give my dad a lot of kudos because he used to always kind of like push me in that direction. So, so after high school, went to college, Sheridan College. Study finance, business finance.
Okay.
He kept pushing me, stay in business finance, stay there, because I'd always stray, and he'd be like, yeah, no, come back.
Follow the money.
Right.
I had a couple opportunities on the way, and my dad would always say, just stick with the school, stay in school, kind of go there. Did a little bit of university, but that's, I guess, after going from college to university, which I kind of did backwards. I don't know.
Right.
No, you're fine.
I realized, this is kind of what I want to do. So I was working at a bank. I don't know if I could say the bank, but anyways, I was working at a major bank, and I moved to insurance, creditor insurance. I did some life insurance there. Then moved over to the investment part. So that's direct investing. Looked at what is called Damian Securities. It's more of a full service brokerage. I hope I'm not talking French here, but
no. Well, me, my things of if I don't understand, I'd be like, explain to me like I'm stupid.
Okay,
and
cool,
then,
perfect.
And then Smooth himself would be like, tell it to the people that might not know.
Right.
Translate. But I feel like this right here is still like shallow water information that most people should know.
Yeah. So there's the discount brokerage firm, which is what you see with the Wealth Simples. You do it yourself. So I was kind of behind the scenes. I did my Canadian securities course. And I was always behind the scenes, and I learned so much of what people are doing as far as investing. So you get,
so you're kind of a bootleg inside trader.
Honestly, that you get so many guys that would call in. So, for example, they used to have the pump and dumps, right?
Right.
So they'd have guys call in and say, "Hey, I want to trade this stock, and it's on the over the counter. Basically, less regulations on the over the counter."
Okay.
And the symbol is this, and I'll be like, yeah. He's like, let me tell you something. This is about to blow up, man. This is the one. So
so maybe they're telling you everything.
So they're trying to tell us to. I mean, they're pumping them, so they're trying to tell us, so that we tell everybody that works with us, yo, this is the one. This is the one. And then we start buying it up, and little things like that. I learned. One of my first, when it comes to dividend investing, I had this lady call in, and they would call in, and they kind of give us. Because we'd have their portfolios on the screen, And like, hey, what is this doing? This is kind of kind of internet. The internet was there, but it was still shaky.
Right.
And they call in to find out what their portfolios are doing. And this lady, she had all bank stocks. She had Royal Bank, Scotiabank, and all these. And all she wanted was the dividends. And I was like, can I ask you a question? Like, aren't you supposed to be diversified? Because that's what I learned at school.
Yeah.
Right. That's what everybody always hears.
Yeah,
is like diversify your portfolio.
She's like, what I learned from her mentor is use these dividend stocks for retirement. And I go, but you're putting all your money into one, like a Royal Bank. You're putting all your money in Royal Bank. She goes, the way I see it, Royal Bank goes under, we're all fucked. I'll never forget that. And she was like, so if I go down,
where's the lie in that statement? There's no lie.
There's no lie. Like,
no lie at all.
From her when she said that, I was like, oh wow. So I learned that little techniques like that. Like she just have those dividends pay off. I mean, dividends tax treatment is better than say a GIC,
right,
or a fixed income because that's interest. Interest is tax higher than say capital gains and dividends, right? So, so that's kind of how. I'd get little tips like that, and I really liked it. I was like, oh, yeah. So, but you get to the point when you're learning so much stuff and you're not really kind of moving where you want to move inside, for me, inside the bank. And
because you're on one side and everything, would that seem kind of illegal if you were to start to move certain type of things where, like, let's say you're in charge of so many things, right? Like we always hear insider trading. From like us not in the financial sector and stuff, whatever. So from us looking at it, it always seems like the things you might participate in and stuff might be possibly a no.
No, not really. I mean, for us, we're not nowhere near the insider trading route, right? We're low level, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was learning a lot. Like I remember when Google first IPO'd and things of that nature. And I'm like, what the hell is Google? I remember. Sorry, I'm
the name.
Yeah.
I remember one of my colleagues. He's like, "Buy Google, man." He used to call it Google.
Yeah.
Buy Google. And I'm like, why? Like it's an internet company. I don't understand what else they do. He's like, I don't know either, but I'm reading this stuff. Just buy it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And little things like that would pop up, and I just like, you just get so much information fed to you. But I got to the point where, you're working at a company, you're comfortable with that check. It's coming in every other Thursday.
Yeah.
And you want more. You kind of, I wanted more. I wanted to do more.
A lot of people do want more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the thing and stuff is that some people bust their ass and stuff, and on paper, they might technically make $1 million. Like, but that's putting in 40 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, they want to make $1 million probably within the next, 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And that's understandable for most people, right?
Yeah. So, I got to the point. I was just learning a lot, moved around a little bit, went to a little bit of a leadership role. But yeah, it wasn't enough. I felt like I was kind of constricted. I actually met a friend of mine. It's actually more my brother's friend in high school. And he was doing it independently. And again, I'm seeing this black guy, he's doing it on his own. He's dressing fly. He has a nice
in the finance sector
in
too.
the finance sector, and
right.
He's like, hey, you got your CSC, you got this, He's like, yo, come with us, come. I was like, I'm comfortable. It's warm over here. You know what I mean? It's cold out there,
right?
I so eventually I started to kind of, go with him a bit more and work with him a bit more and find out, okay, this is how you get paid doing this, and this is how you do this.
So what took you out of the comfort zone from your world to even give that a shot? Were you not happy with what you were doing?
I wasn't. I was comfortable. I was too comfortable. Not that I wasn't. I was just comfortable. Like I was a bit too comfortable. Like my boss at the time was so cool. I would just walk in. I'm supposed to be there at 9. I get there at 10. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it was kind of ridiculous. Now that I look back at it, I was like, yo, this guy let me get away. I would do my work. Don't get me wrong, but I was just too comfortable.
And then I guess it became less challenging to you.
Oh yeah. I so many things I could do with my eyes closed. Like it got to that point. I wanted to.
So now it's time to level up.
Met a friend of mine, and he was just kind of. And I was kind of dabbling to see, okay, what is he doing over there? What's going on over there? He's like, yeah, come out to this event and da-da-da-da-da, and I'll come out. So eventually I got to the point I was like, okay, yeah, I think I can kind of do this. I started to kind of put my ducks in a row and start talking to certain people that, I thought that I could have as clients, family and friends, of course, first. 'Cause
Right.
you don't, I didn't know people like that. I wanted to go to Dominion Securities, which is their full service brokerage firm, but one of their stipulations, you got to bring in $10 million worth of asset worth of management every year. So you got to bring in 10 million every year. And I was like, I don't know millionaires like that.
Right.
Or they're cutthroat. If you don't bring that in, you're fired. Yeah, it was. So
you got to bring that in and maintain that yearly.
Annually. Yeah, every year you got to bring in this money. You got to bring it in. So I knew I wasn't at that level. So I was like, okay, I got to start somewhere.
Right.
And family and friend. One thing I would say is all the stuff I started to learn at the bank, like something as simple as that dividend strategy. I'd tell people, and I'll be like, yo, I learned this at work, and da-da-da-da. And they'll be like, huh? Like, no clue. Like, didn't understand any concept. I'm like, yo, this is what they're doing. They're doing this, and I just, everything. It's clueless. I was like, okay, there's definitely a gap there. I need to help out somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And so I started going through building up a book, and at the time my mom was diagnosed with leukemia. 2000 and gosh, how am I forgetting? 2010, something like that, 11. Okay. And one thing I'll never forget what she was telling me is like, she'd always wait for retirement. She's like, oh, I can't wait till retirement. I can't wait for retirement. Oh, be like, God, my dad and my mother broke up, and he moved to the States. Mm-hmm. He's in California now, and there was a point where he wanted her to move with him. She's trying to, and she's like, nah, I'm here. I want to stay for retirement. Retirement's done. So she retired.
Okay.
The year after, she got leukemia. And I broke my heart, man. That was like, that was, whew. To think, like, all this time she's
put in.
She's waiting for retirement. She was a nurse, by the way. She worked hard, always on her feet.
Yeah.
Just
waiting for her just desserts, and then
boom, she got leukemia. I want to blame the hospital because they had asbestos and things of that nature. There was a time where her lung collapsed before she got leukemia. She don't smoke, she don't drink. My dad wanted to sue. She didn't want to sue. She just wants to retire. That's all she cared about.
Right, yeah.
Is
put her head down and just keep going.
Keep going. And then when she got the leukemia, that was like, wow. So going through that process, anybody that's going through it now, I totally understand because it's
of course.
Tough.
Yeah. It's 100%.
It's tough going to Princess Margaret, getting an appointment for 9, not seeing a doctor till 2. Just waiting to see where her blood levels are at. It was tough. But me and my brother were there for her. Like, we're always there. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It was when she was about to pass, and she had told me, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of moonlighting, kind of figured this out." She's like, "You've been doing this so long." She goes, "Look at me. I've been waiting all this time for retirement, and look where I'm at right now." And I was like,
I felt that.
Yeah.
She's like, "You got to make a move. You got to make a move." Yeah. And for me, that was it. That was it.
Spark.
Like, that was okay. Yeah. When she said that to me, I'm getting chills now. I got that chill at the time, and I was like, she's like, you can't wait. You got to make a move. You got to make that move. And
the reason why I asked is because so many people and stuff, right? They might be at the same kind of stalemate where you were once were, and they just can't decide to make the move. Yeah. Like I always say, great things happen when you're uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, great things do not happen in a comfort zone, right? But the thing is that, like you said, you got comfortable, nothing was challenging, you're okay, you're good, but you're looking like, what she's saying had so much validity to it because you can see it.
You see it, yeah.
You can see it.
In front of you.
Yeah, it's in proximity, right? Like I always say, like, distance breeds fear and proximity breeds care. Because you're so close to it, you're looking like, yeah, I don't want to be like this situation and stuff.
Yeah, I tell you, when she told me that, and I noticed towards the end of her life when she started getting real. Like, you know, when your parents are kind of like, they censor certain things. Oh, no, she was getting real, like, real, telling me some real stuff. And I'm like, so when she said that to me, she passed in 2013. That was it. I was like, I gotta sink or swim, you know. And I just took I had some money saved, you know. I went on with the same advisor, and just went rocking and rolling, man. All the techniques that he was showing me, everything I learned from the bank, everything, I just put it all together, put it in the gumbo, and you know, throughout the years, your process kind of changes, it evolves.
Of course, it
you
should.
know,
As
it should, yeah. And I just kept changing, it just changed. Okay, this doesn't quite work. And one thing I will always say is one thing I learned was you can't look at people as a check, because I'm telling you, a lot of advisors, I don't want to ish on them, but they look at people as a check, and that is probably the worst thing to do. It's going to come back. It definitely will. You gotta, okay, how am I helping this person, and am I doing the right thing?
So what would differentiate you from the others? Like, do you show people, like, do you feel like you come with more compassion because you don't look at them like numbers and stuff, whatever? Do you speak to them or vibe with them first before you decide to work with them? Like, how does that take place?
Definitely, it is definitely a vibe. You want to make sure that you can work with that person.
You want to take a client from online, like just to?
Oh yeah, like but I got to vet them first. You know, I have to have a conversation and figure out where they're at, what their goals are. Can I work with them? Because this, in my opinion, this is a lifetime thing. These are lifetime friendships I'm building. You know, it's nice. Not just right now, get the check, they're gone. This is something I have to do for life. This is a lifetime friendship. I want to make sure that, you know, from cradle to the grave type thing, you know, that I'm there for them, you know.
And not only them, but their family.
Exactly. I have a kind of a story, like I have a friend, she passed away of cancer last year.
R.I.P.
And sorry, I'm just thinking about me being on her deathbed. Basically, she didn't do any leukemia. Chemo, and she just let it take her. You know, but right now, her daughter is one of my clients. She doesn't make a lot of money. She's not bringing me a lot of money, but I feel like, okay, I have to be there for her, right? Like, I have to be there for her. She calls me, I'm going to call her right back. Okay, what's going on? I feel that, you know what I mean? That's something in me, you know, where...
Because, again, it's the relationship. You're not looking at them as a check. You're looking at them
exactly. And I think that's beneficial. I think that's comforting to know, like, if I'm to be your client, and you're not looking at me, you're like, I'm not looking at you as a check. Like, this is supposed to be cradle to grave. We're going to be, like, as of this moment, we're moving forward, and we're going to be like this. I'll make sure your money is good and see how you use your money and all the above. There's a level of comfort that comes with that and stuff because you're so, at times, you're seen only by your account. Because I look at it stuff as where, we spoke about this and stuff before. The banks won't call you when your credit shit. When everything's rolling and going for you, whatever. Like, I'm getting emails and stuff. You want to increase your credit limit? You bitches didn't want to do that before, but I'll hit yes.
You don't want to do what I needed it, but now...
But, you know, so then I'm looking at it like, because I'm doing certain things. But then when it's more on a personal level and a people level, it's kind of like, go ahead. Just drive. I'll be in the car with you. Hopefully you don't stray me too far.
That is one thing, like, in this industry, I've learned in the beginning, maybe I'm going to ish on myself. In the beginning, you're not too sure, you know, so you have all the information, you study, you have all your courses and everything. But once you're in front of a client, it's a different story. And when you put them into a product or a plan, you better make sure that this is going to, you know, last, or this is going to help them out in the long run. So when I'm doing my planning, I think about those things. Okay. And I ask them, like, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? What's going to happen? You know, we can't predict the future, but at least I have some sort of idea or clue. Okay, well, if we put them in this is going to work for you for this, and da-da-da-da-da. Everything is interconnected when it comes to finance. Everything. You know, so if they're not telling me certain things, and something happens, okay, I don't feel as bad because hey, you didn't tell me.
You didn't tell me.
Right, yeah.
You didn't tell me. But yeah, that's that's. I forgot your question. Where were we?
No, it was just more of the start process and everything about what people, because I like my thing and stuff is that to even the listeners and stuff now, right? They're looking at stuff as like, what would make you more different compared to the rest, right? And this is the thing, like, why should we give Damian our money and stuff to deal with and stuff
Right.
over somebody else and stuff? Because let's say, for example, if I'm John Smith and I bank with, let's say, one of the major financial institutions and stuff like that, why should I leave them when they might have somebody that they might provide? Be like, I want to know what my retirement might look like. I want to be well off and stuff, whatever, and I don't want to struggle with so much and stuff, or I want to take an early retirement.
Yeah.
Because it is important. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, from transparency, I mean, like, I do business with Damian, right? But it's not to say that I never knew investors from before. At that time, I may have not been, may have not had the mind on it. But when I had the mind on it, I was like, oh, but wait a second. I know somebody already. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know I could probably find somebody else, but I know this guy. He's a good guy. I trust this guy already. Why would I go find somebody else and have to build that trust,
the trust is
to get that working when I can go ahead and already do something with somebody that already established the trust with? So I see that part where, you want to establish that. You want to establish that, no, here I am. I do that stuff, but let you know why I'm the right guy to do that stuff for you.
Yeah. It definitely has a lot to do with trust. Trust is, I get people like, oh, you're a numbers guy. Well, no, it's more about relationships. How do I build that? How do I build that relationship with you? I want to find out what's going on with you. I don't want to just see how much is in your savings account. What's going on? What are your goals? And how can I help you get there? Like you said, there's tons of advisors out there.
Tons.
Yeah, like, okay, I want to know about you. I want to know about your family. I want to know about your goals. I want to know about all those things before I even proceed. And once I figure that out, okay, can we work together? Is this going to be a long-lasting relationship, or is this going to be a short-term? I'd rather the long-term, the short-term is the short-term. Who knows what's going to happen, right? I'd rather that long-term relationship, right?
Let me ask you, when should a person seek you out? Like, when in their world do you, like, after, let's say, most of their debts are paid, or when they're looking about, like, what they're figuring out, what their world's going to look like, let's say, going closer towards retirement and debt? Should it be an earlier stage? Like, do you recommend, like, 20-something-year-olds to come sit down with you? When? I get a wide variety of people that come to me, young and old. Ideally, I would like, when your debt is manageable. You know what I mean? Certain people will have mountains of debt and come to me like, come fix this. Like, what?
Alakazam.
Yeah, like that's the and to be honest, I've helped people with no charge and just put them on that path, and I say, here you go. But other than that, I can't really. Some
people's ears perked up. Mine's did perk up. We said no charge.
Pro bono? No, I've done that many times where they'll have this debt problem, and they'll want to do a consumer proposal, and I'll tell them the pros and cons. Like, do you want to do this and be on this handcuff for 8 years, or do you want to work on trying to pay it down, and different techniques on how they could pay it down, and different websites to go. There's this great website. It's called Undebted, where you put all of your debts there, and it kind of helps you to pay it off. It keeps you accountable, things of that nature. Okay. So I kind of put them in that direction. Obviously, if I'm mad busy, Right. But I do help. I've helped a lot of clients in that direction. I'm more focusing on now estate and succession planning, and also pensions and creating retirement plans for entrepreneurs now. So you'll see a lot of people self-employed
Right.
that don't really have a pension plan or retirement plan. And there's ways that we can create pensions where you'll have that income. You just have to, start to establish and put together a plan. Huge on putting together plans. We got to put together a plan. We got to stick to it, and make sure that we hit these milestones. Right.
I'm with that.
Okay.
Okay, break down what is estate planning and succession planning.
So estate planning, in essence, is what we're trying to do. I'll keep it a little bit simple. We're trying to
Explain it to me like I'm stupid. I told you.
We're trying to mitigate as much taxes as possible. We're trying to make sure that we put together a plan. So when you want to transfer your assets over to the next generation, we pay as little tax as possible. So we're going to put you into certain vehicles where you're not paying as much taxes. And one thing in the financial industry, we're very, we should be very focused on the next upcoming budget. What changes are they going to make so that we can kind of pivot from that? So we see the budget, we're studying the budget. Okay, what did they change? For example, recently, the capital gains tax.
Yes. So it's funny that you mentioned that because the house in Owenstown, we're in the process of renovating the basement, and the designer, she was adamant. She's like, "Man, don't you got anybody's name that you can put the house in and stuff like that? Because if you do it now before this capital gain tax comes in, you're gonna be saving yourself some money because you're gonna get hit hard as an owner."
Hard.
Yes.
So what it is capital gains inclusion tax. So basically, government's dipping our pockets again. Back in, I think it was the 70s, capital gains. So you would get taxed. So whatever profit you make, they tax. Well, they used to tax 50%. Before it was 75%. Now what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're the first 250,000, we'll tax you at 50%. But anything over 250,000, we're going to tax you at 67%. So anybody with an additional property, they got to start thinking about that. Okay, shoot, I got an extra property. When I sell it, this is how much they're going to tax me.
Right.
So things like that, when we got to plan for those things. So, I always get people that think they're so smart. Well, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in Bitcoin and I'm going to save from these. I get so many different, online guys that
armchair investors.
Oh my gosh. And I'm like, bro, like
armchair investors.
It's like, I wish it was that easy, and maybe it is. I don't know of it, but there's so many different things that people are not thinking about, especially when it comes to these taxes. And my job is okay. Let's figure this out. Okay, where do you want this money to go? Who do you want this to go to? Do you have a will? Let's put the will in place. Okay. Do you have a power of attorney?
Is that part of the succession planning?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly it. Part of the succession plan. First, let's figure out, do you have a will? I don't know what it is. A lot of people are scared to do wills. It's something that people are just like, I think
for me, I never really was against it. I just looked at it as stuff as where it was something in my mind and stuff like, well, when I get my 40s, this is something I should do because, or even thinking about death. So I think the thought process of not being here for like specific people tends to leave people kind of feeling a type of way.
I was gonna say the reason why people don't want to write wills is the same reason why people don't want to put lotion on their knees when they hurt.
Denial. It's not gonna happen to me. It'll never happen to me.
I'm gonna live forever.
I'm immortal. Okay.
Live forever like fame, right?
Yeah. All right.
But the will, we need to get that done. Power of attorney. If you're incapacitated, you can't do things on your own. You need someone there to take care of your affairs, and also continuing enduring power of attorney. If that person that's a power of attorney ever gets incapacitated too, we want to make sure that will or power of attorney, the power of attorney continues on, right?
Right.
So that is kind of the first thing that we want to put into place. Then we start looking at all of your accounts. How can we mitigate or how can we save taxes on each account?
Okay.
Because once you pass away, there's what is called a deemed disposition at death. So what the government says, the day before, so I pass away, knock on wood. I pass away, knock on wood. I pass away I pass away tomorrow, I'm deemed to have died today. So what they'll say,
really,
yeah. So what they'll say
what kind of shit is that?
Just for tax purposes, right? So
evil tax.
I was like, explain to me.
Yeah.
Thing.
I don't understand because if like I'm still alive and well, and I might be on my deathbed and stuff, and they're like, all right, moving forward, he died. Yeah, he died Monday. Sunday
is your official date. This is when we're gonna look at your accounts, and we're gonna deem that your accounts have been disposed as of this date. So they're saying you've officially liquidated now you owe us our tax. That's basically what they're saying when they say,
right.
You know, instead of using the actual date of your death, they do it the day before and say, okay, this is your deemed disposition. So once that deemed disposition happens, now it's time to say, okay, you've officially liquidated your assets. Okay, what do you owe us? You know, so what I do is what I try to do is always think of, okay, what accounts can I put this in so we can mitigate the taxes? We're not going to get rid of the taxes. We're not running from these taxes.
Right.
How can we make it the least amount of taxes?
I didn't know that. That's
and then passing it on to the next generation. How can we do that?
So my question to you and stuff is that if there's not a person like yourself involved, would, let's say, the families of the loved ones have to still deal with that?
Oh yeah. They got to deal with all of that. And that's the hardest part.
Right.
You want to make sure that everything is kind of settled before that happens. I
mean,
my mom, I love her to death. She died, but I love her so much because that was one of her fears is when she passes away, we're going to have to deal with this mess. We're going to have to deal with this. I didn't want to deal with it at the time. My brother would tell you, he was like, you're a punk at the time. You know what I mean? I'm in the industry and I didn't want to deal with it. Isn't that crazy?
Because it's your mom.
It's your mom, yeah.
I was like, no, this is not happening to me.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I would feel the same way too.
He's like, we got to have these conversations. We got to, what's going to happen? And she packaged it very well. She's like, okay, let's get my funeral stuff done. Let's do this. She's like, I don't want no big funeral. If you guys want to do the extras and put a mural on the vault, and you could do all of that. I'm telling you, it's a waste of money because I already did.
Right. I was telling him like, yo, funerals are like the most biggest hustle and stuff out here.
That's what she used to say. Like, I'm already dead, so
done.
You can put the extras all you want, but I'm telling you, I don't want it.
Right.
You know, I want something simple, and then after, you guys have to have a party. We're like, what? No, you're having a party. You're not going to sit there. You're not going to be crying and making up noise and da-da-da. No, you're going to have, that's what we did. We had a party.
Nice. Nice.
You fulfill our wishes.
Yeah. We fulfill their wishes. So, and that, again, that's another part of estate planning. How are we going to fulfill that person's wishes?
Right.
What are we going to do? Where's this money going to go? Who's going to get what? Things of that nature. So it's kind of a smooth transition. If not, now you're going to go to the probate court. So basically the court decides. Right. So who would you rather decide, you, or would you decide this random person
who doesn't know you?
So, well, technically it should go to Sam. Well, you didn't like Sam. Well, that's the third child. He's supposed to get this and this and that, you know?
Sam's giving everybody middle fingers walking out of there.
Exactly. So, and you know, there's a lot of planning involved. And now we got to figure out how we're going to make sure this legacy continues on. That's where the succession comes on. Okay. We're gonna, especially also with small businesses. That's something I'm learning now that a lot of businesses don't even think about that. They think about work. Oh my gosh. A lot of business owners, when I talk to them, it's not something, they're just thinking
staying afloat.
Or the now, and not thinking of, okay, what's going to happen when I pass? Is this going to go to this person? Is this going to go to this person? How are we going to deal with that? So I found that interesting because you think, okay, a business owner is always thinking about that stuff.
Yeah. But it's so weird though. I mean, you always see even today with, some of the huge families, somebody passes and the family's fighting over who gets what. And I'm like, damn, bro, you didn't have that sorted out before.
Because so what is it? Migos, Takeoff.
You're right.
When Takeoff died and stuff, he was under 30. He never had a will established.
Right.
I don't think his mom was battling, I guess, with the probate courts about certain type of things because they look like, oh, like she's like, he made this song. She started like, he's like, Mama, I love you. This is for you. She's like, he said it in the song. They're like, we can't use this kind of intellectual property to fight your case.
It's crazy.
And I was like, shit. And so that's why I was looking at him like, I guess when you're making substantial amount of money, people like yourself need to be in play.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I not
okay,
substantial.
So it's not a need. It's more of a want then.
I think, and the way that our system is working now, what they're doing now is they're making it harder for us as advisors to help out people with less money.
Wow.
Because they're slowly cutting the amount of commission that we can charge. So now they had this thing for mutual funds called DSC, deferred sales charge. That's kind of how we got paid.
Right.
It's a charge that you don't necessarily see, but it's there, right? They don't like that because what was happening is you get a couple rogue advisors that are abusing the system, and then it gets escalated. They get the complaints. Okay, we got to stop this. They started off in the UK, and they did a study, and they showed in the UK the middle class and lower class are the ones suffering because now they can't afford that. Because now if it's not embedded, so the fees are now you got to come out of pocket. So what the DSC did was it allowed you to not necessarily see the charge, but it stretched out the money over a 5 to 7 year span.
Right.
So you're not upfrontly seeing it, but it's not coming out of pocket.
Yeah.
So imagine you had to come out 5-10 grand, out of pocket versus
when you only probably might make, I don't know, what's minimum wage, like maybe 40 to 50K? 40K?
40K.
40K.
Exactly. Whereas now I can get this advice. We're going to stretch it out over this period of time. We want you to stay in here. We want you to stay in this fund as a commitment. If you come out, you're going to get a penalty. If you stay in, everything's going to be kind of gravy, right? They eliminated that. So now they're slowly kind of cutting us out of the equation. So now we're thinking, okay, well, I can't really deal with the people with less money because now the system is, kind of pushing me to have to look for higher net worth clients.
Right.
And when the middle to lower class need us the most.
Yeah.
They need us the most. But hey, that's the system. That's what they're doing. What can you do about that, right? Yeah, it's going to be interesting in the next,
isn't it?
The next couple of years. It's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. What's going to happen? You just, as an advisor, you just kind of one advisor always tell me you just got to kind of move with the wave. You got to shift and move with the wave. You can't be stuck there and get mad like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Move with the wave. Like when the next budget comes out, we read it. Okay, this is what they're doing now. This is where they want more taxes. Move with the wave. You know what I mean? Like,
so with your current clients, right? With your current clients and stuff, when the changes come in, do you contact them one by one to kind of go at them? Do you give them like a blast email? Like how do, or you just wait till you sit down with them again?
It depends on the change.
Oh, okay.
Like that DSC change,
not so much significant.
Not so much. Also, when it comes to certain budget changes, is it going to directly affect them? Like, for example, the capital gains change. If they don't have a second property, it may not affect them as much. If they don't have $250,000, it probably won't affect them as much, right?
Right.
But yeah, definitely. If I'm starting to see, okay, based on what you told me, you have a second property, you have a third property, you have substantial money in your account. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's figure out where we're gonna go and kind of estate plan and succession plan around that. Because when I first began, it wasn't so much that. It was kind of more of a gathering of assets. Whatever I can get, I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
But once you start getting that, and you start to, okay, where do I want to take this business, and where do I want to go with this? And you start to look at, okay, and that's where I decide, okay, I want to go more into the estate and succession planning. Not to say I won't take other people, but that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on. Estate succession plan and retirement and pensions. I think those two things for me so important.
Right.
Because I see a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are not really thinking about that retirement portion. They're just kind of working and trying to figure it out, like most of us, right? We're just trying to figure it out and build your assets that way, right?
I think it's kind of different where, again, like the same thing when you're saying pertaining to like your mother about the conversation about the death thing. I think there's somewhere along the line, everybody has their own type of, I'm going to say, safe to say, money trauma.
Yeah.
They have a money trauma and stuff that either they refuse to kind of either deal with or look about, whatever. And I guess you would be considered, or people in your position would be considered kind of like the reality check.
Reality check, yeah.
Right.
Right? And I feel like the reality check and stuff is that we're like, okay, you're not where you intended you thought you would be, or you thought you would be that good. Now you have somebody and stuff, whatever, in a nice ass blazer telling you like, hey, this ain't it. Let me show you the way. But you're like, I thought I had it. And then now they're looking at stuff as like, I have to pay somebody to tell me when we live in the information age. Because like I was explaining to somebody and stuff that, you know, you were coming on the show and they're like, I can Google anything I can and stuff. And I was like, but you don't know what to search for.
Right.
I'm like, this is this person's like bread and butter. So I'm like, it's just like the whole realtor dance and stuff with everybody and stuff as well. Everybody's like, yeah, I'll do it by my damn self until you get screwed with no lubrication.
Sorry, that's lubrication. The plumber, electrician. Like there's so many people that you kind of need in your circle. Accountant, lawyer. You could do it. It doesn't mean it should be done. Like there's certain things that you can do on your own. But I find time and time again, I mean, they have studies that show people that use advisors are 68% more likely to, advance their portfolios a lot quicker. You have that added advice. You have that person that if you're you have that person that if you're not sure about something, you can call them. You can Google anything, like you said. But there's certain things that you want to kind of figure out on your own. I mean, I've had some plumbing issues and I've tried it myself. Trust me.
Right.
I went on YouTube. I tried it out and it didn't work out. Guess who I was calling? The plumber. Can you come fix this? Like I messed this thing up, I was
gonna say sometimes it's a cost. It's more costly when you try to do it yourself.
Yeah, to pick up the slack and stuff on what you already probably done messed up. Yeah. Right. It's just that I think the initial thing and stuff is a lot of, again, these financial times going back to the beginning and stuff, whatever. Right? It's kind of like I barely have enough money to pay back Paul because I can't even rob Peter. But then now to make sure my future is aligned where I'm owing nobody and I'm on top of the game, I have to pay somebody else for a service for something that I might have to I can possibly do. And I always look at myself as like, yeah, because you're not an expert. We talk about this all the time. I'm like, I'm not a marketing expert. I'm gonna go to the people and stuff who know what marketing is and what it look like.
This is what they do
to push our business.
Right.
Right. But then again, it's just we're a situation where some people just feel like we have this fear. No one's making it more comfortable to us or explaining to a language that we can understand or relate to. But I like the fact that you said with the whole compassion aspect about we're gonna be like this and we're gonna ride this and stuff or whatever. Don't come short term. Hopefully you come long term, and we're good. Hopefully that will start to alleviate a good portion of people's fear.
Right.
Because I know a woman. She had a full life fear of money when it came to her father dealt with all the finances in her household. Right. Her father said to her when she was younger, sweetheart, marry rich. Her father wasn't that man that had that kind of money and stuff like that. And she said her mom used to say a little retail therapy will kind of cure and fix a little problem and stuff that you might have in your world. She ended up meeting a guy later and he was financially well off from family and everything. He took ill and his family wouldn't really help give her any kind of funds before he passed.
Right.
Right. And then she was in this predicament and stuff, and she sat there. She's like, I understand why I'm in my 1-bedroom apartment with our one child, because I've always let everybody else deal with my financial issues.
Wow.
Right.
Instead of dealing with myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, that's good of you to recognize that and stuff, whatever. And then, but people don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's very tough. I just don't want. I'm just tired of seeing these GoFundMes and just
for funerals and stuff.
What
does that do to you? Yeah, because we talk about it.
It is tough, man. Especially like if you've encountered a person and you've told them. I've literally sat down with people and went through the whole process and showed them about life insurance and yada yada yada. And they pass away, and I see this GoFundMe, and I'm like, I don't even want to contribute. I sound bad, right? But I'm like, yo, I told you so. But I guess that's a wrong attitude to have. But
I know
I feel like bothers me.
No, we talk about all the time.
No,
that part just
two things black people don't believe in is
insurance and therapy.
And that part, it really bothers me, because if you really sit down and you really think about it, a lot of times it's not that expensive. I mean, it all depends on what you want to do as far as your insurance, but it can be, relatively inexpensive just to have something in place.
No, definitely. Because I look at it where, like for my life insurance and stuff, I want to say monthly, I look at it as where I probably burnt that amount on some other bullshit that I didn't really need to, or I probably done ate somewhere that was that cost way more than what my life insurance stuff is, whatever. So I'm looking like, at the end of the day is going to end, and I'm going to need this, or my whosoever stuff around the stuff afterwards, whatever, is gonna need it, and this will get in a push. Much as I have a son to live for too, right? Yeah. So my main concern and stuff is that if I have to be the sacrificial piece for him to get right, I'm okay with that. But the thing is stuff is that we need to have a vision and a plan. So therefore, there's no, we were up, now we're down. No. When we up, we stuck. Shout out to Cardi.
Yeah.
So that's the aim and stuff. But I think a lot of people can't focus to see like how to get that, or even know where, because a lot of people don't know the direction too, right? Like I said, like people go to their banks now to probably pay a bill or take out a loan for like house and everything, and they have this tunnel vision just stuck on that.
Well, I mean, the only time the bank's gonna tell them anything different is when they become a high value customer, right? So they're only gonna know this,
and they want to start to glaze you and everything. You're the best. Nothing's gonna keep you out.
Or when they want to sell you debt. Hey, we got to sell you this debt. Like you were saying, here's an increase. Here you go, because that's where they make their money, off the debt. But yeah, that's kind of how they make their money. Like sell you some more debt. How much more debt you want? It's tough, man. It's tough. But I see where you're coming from when it comes to someone in fear and not sure, and what direction to go to. See it all the time.
Right.
Can you explain to me, because I always see this stuff on social media and I'm like, armchair investor. What is a trust?
I knew you were going to ask me
what is a trust? And
we're going to play with hedge fund too. Start with trust.
How does it operate?
Start with the trust.
So the thing that I'm seeing going around social media is these U.S. trusts.
Right.
And they're different, man. They're different. So,
okay, so it operates, this is something that operates different in the U.S.
It does operate different. And in Canada, I mean, trust is for someone you don't trust. You basically, if you think about it, it's for someone that you don't trust. Because if you trusted them, you just give them a lump sum of money and say, go do what you got to do.
Right.
The trust is designed so that you, the settler, so the person that sets up the trust, retains control, right? So I may have two sons, and I know one is good with money, and the other one is really bad with money. I want to make sure that, okay, this money is going to last their lifetime. And I want to make sure that whatever I put on paper, it's controlled. It's controlled. A lot of people have the misconception that, hey, if I have my money in a trust, I'm going to save on taxes. No, not in Canada. Because in Canada, what they do is they say, assets inside that trust are going to be taxed at the highest marginal tax rate. So
at the highest?
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is get you to move the money outside the trust, right?
Right.
And then you have your beneficiaries outside the trust. Ideally, you want to make sure that, hey, your beneficiaries are at a lower tax bracket. So that's kind of where you save a little bit of money on the trust. But the trust is designed for more control. Now, setting up a trust, usually you want to have, 2 mil, because trust can get expensive. So you get, for example.
So trust is not a broke man dance.
No, not a broke man dance.
Well, no, because I think a lot of people, and just same to his point, to echo what he's saying, like when I see these ads and stuff like that, whatever, too, I'm gonna say, for me, I don't really flinch because again, I go to a captain how to fly a plane, right? A chef to how to cook something and stuff. I'm not asking a chef how to fly a plane, so I will go to the direct source. Other people might just say like, yeah, let me click this link.
Yeah.
And now they get into some world that they don't know nothing about.
Yeah, no, trust, they can't get expensive. So you got the legal fees. That's anywhere from $500 to $2,500. Now, to maintain that trust over the years, think about it. Say you set up a trust in your 30s, and every year they're charging 1.5% on your money. Can you afford that? Then every year you got to file your taxes for that trust. And now you got to have an accountant. He's charging you, $500 to $2,500, every year. There's so many different things with a trust. You want to make sure that you have that well. Now, there's ways to have vehicles act like a trust. So, like you said, someone that doesn't have as much money, you can do that. There's something called the insurance trust, right? So let's just say, for example, in your will, you say, okay, in this directive, I want you to you can direct your executor. So executor is someone that kind of manages your affairs when you pass away.
Okay.
So you have the will, you can have the executor say, hey, set up an insurance trust at RBC Insurance Trust. So that way, okay, I've kind of saved some money from the time that I set up the trust to now, and the directive is instructing that executor to open up a trust at RBC, right? So you save some money there, because imagine, you start off in your 40s and you don't die till you're 80 and you're paying all this money in the trust. You know what I mean? And whereas you have what is called an insurance trust, it can be set up there. I mean, there's other kind of technical things that can happen in between, but that's one way you can do it. There's segregated funds. Basically, a segregated fund works like a mutual fund. If you don't know what a mutual fund is basically a basket of stocks.
Right.
And you kind of diversifying. Segregated funds are almost the exact same, except they have death benefit guarantee. They have a maturity guarantee. So maturity guarantee basically means we have, say, 10 years, right? Let's just say you say, Damian, here's 10,000, right? Put it in some markets for me. At 10,000 goes down to, 5,000. There's a guarantee. You say, okay, when you want to pull that money out after that, the guarantee is up, you're going to make me whole again. So you can either get your full 10,000 back,
right,
or you can get 75%, however the contract works, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of how a segregated funds, and at death, same thing. You get 100% back. But you can use a segregated fund so that the money flows through straight to your beneficiaries. So you can avoid probate. You can avoid those things that the government's going to kind of
reach and grab,
right? So you set up a segregated fund. You look for an insurance trust. These little things that you can do if you don't have that type of wealth, instead of setting up a trust. Once you get to that level, okay, different story. Now we got to start to set up.
So I was going to ask you, because you're saying it's more or less a rich man's game or a corporation type of game. So I guess at some point it becomes more advantageous to set up a trust because you're in such a high value game at this point that saving at any point or at any little thing makes as much sense as it possibly can. Yeah. But as a lower level person like me, I'm just paying too much in fees for a trust to even make sense.
The fees are going to every year you got to pay that to your accountant. Every year you're getting this 1% fee. Every year, you got to pay. Well, not every year.
Imagine doing that for 40.
Right.
And then now you start to see your money. It's like, okay, wait, I'm paying all these in fees, and my money's slowly dwindling.
Yeah.
It's dwindling. Where am I going to put this? Another way is putting into an insurance policy, a whole life insurance policy. Oh, amazing way of doing that.
Now, I was gonna ask pertaining to, because if we spoke about it, I saw some life insurance ads again, like social media and stuff, are saying that there's certain type of insurance policies you can put in and get the money if you got a terminal illness.
Yes.
Do most financial planners know about these
Yeah.
things?
Financial advisors, majority of them know. Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
They'll know. Okay, they have what is called critical illness insurance.
Yes.
My mother had that critical illness,
Okay.
and that helped her a lot because at the time she didn't, you get these bills and things are happening. She was still getting her pension, but there's still other things that come up.
Right.
She got this lump sum of cash as soon as she was diagnosed. I remember I was on some like, okay, Mom, we're gonna take this money and we're gonna invest it in here and da 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 da. And she looked at me like,
Sit your ass down.
what are you talking about? I don't know if I'm gonna live past
Right.
Invest what?
I'm my money.
Yeah, I'm taking this money. I'm going on this cruise. I'm going on this vacation.
I love your mom.
That was my mentality.
Rest in paradise, Mom. Dude.
Yeah, that was my thought process. Okay, we can make more money if we.
Right.
And she's like, money, like she went on.
They said I have cancer. Did you not hear?
Wake up,
Yeah.
So yeah, she used that money. She went on a number of cruises. She started to fix up her house, stuff that made her feel good.
Right.
Nice.
Stuff that like made her feel really good for the time being.
Right.
She gave money to like certain siblings that needed money. She gave money. She felt good. That extra money helped her out a lot. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, there is critical illness insurance. That helps out a lot. You get this lump sum. I actually have clients that got the critical illness, recovered, and they started a new business off of it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because the critical illness, I was looking into it like for myself, and I was like, I mean, if we're looking at like statistically speaking, they say everybody and stuff, the amount of plastic we indigested
Right.
is probably about the amount of plastic on a credit card.
Right.
And this is average person and stuff, whatever, right? So I want to say we have a lot of illnesses and stuff. Like some of us, I want to say with the gyms, the way how we eat, it has gotten better. But to the other ones that choose not to do anything different and stuff, why wouldn't you get critical illness insurance?
The good thing about also critical illness, there's also what is called return of premium. So they say they have stipulations. If you don't get anything within 15, 20 years or to the age 65, you can get all that money back, right? So, and then there's different strategies where, okay, because you never know after that 15 years, you could get something, but
Yeah.
Right.
you're like, I'm relatively healthy. You get all that money back, and now we could put it into something else, okay? We take this lump sum. What are we going to do with it? Maybe we put it into a whole life policy. Now we can start to make that grow. Whatever the case may be, there's different strategies that you can use
Right.
if you use that return of premium. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I always wondered, me and Bob talk about this all the time, right? Do really, really wealthy people need life insurance?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, very good question.
No.
I would say this. I personally think you do because you're paying pennies on the dollar for the inevitable. Like, for example, if you're really, really wealthy and you have all these multiple properties and you decide to buy life insurance, you're going to have to pay tax. So
On the life insurance?
on the
properties.
sale of your properties. Sorry,
yeah.
the sale of your proproperties.
Yeah.
So why not buy policies to pay for that? You're paying pennies on the dollar.
That's true.
That's a part of the planning process. Okay, you have all these properties. Eventually, you're gonna have to liquidate them. Or
So smart money people.
Smart money people.
Smart money people.
Still
No,
don't
because
get-
we had this conversation. I'm like, if you're paid, why the hell would you
Yeah,
care?
because
Like,
we always say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because-
yeah, no, it's definitely a strategy the rich still use to, reduce the taxes. We know these taxes. The taxes are not going down.
Right.
No.
Right.
They're not going
Going
down.
down.
We all know taxes don't. We're going to reduce taxes. Then they tax you on something else.
Yeah.
Right? We'll reduce the tax here. We'll increase it here. Okay, but we know for a fact we're gonna die. We're gonna have to pay taxes. Okay, well, let me get a life insurance policy, pennies on the dollar. How much is your net worth? What are we looking at? Okay, this is going to pay for this house. This is going to pay for this house. To organize. I know certain people, especially real estate agents, they always think, oh, well, I'll sell one of my properties to pay the taxes, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're going to be paying more because now that property increases, now the government's looking at you like, oh, wow, leave it as is. Like, we're going to get even more money from you. Don't get life insurance. Forget that.
Right.
That's what the government is looking at. They want to get as much tax. I don't know if you guys heard, and I was getting like my head knocked in on social media. That's why I'm careful now. There was a post, and they were talking about taxes, and we were talking about the principal residence.
Right.
So your principal residence, when you sell it and you move to, you don't get taxed on that. Well, guess what they're trying to do now?
Tax you on it.
They're trying to tax it. I said that. I said that in one of the posts, and people were coming. They're not going to tax our principal residence. They're not going to. There's studies right now. They're using our money to do studies to figure out how they're going to tax us, if they're going to tax us, what's the impact, things of that nature.
So they can take our money and do whatever the hell they want with it.
And, like, come on, at least give us that. Like, my principal residence, you're going to tax me on that? At least give me that. Maybe we come together and there's this big, revolution, and they decide, okay, we're not going to do that. But from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, they're looking to...
No, that's coming. That I know for a fact.
They started doing some calculation. They figured how much tax money they can get out of us. Off of our principal residence. They're just like, oh, wow, like this is, they're rubbing their hands together. So we got to think about things like that. And, me as an advisor, I look at those things, look at the budget and say, okay, how do we switch up our game plan when it comes to our clients? What are we going to do? What are we going to put in place, Right. We have so many resources behind the scenes of experts that always help us out, because if I read something and I don't quite understand it, there's always someone behind the scene that will always help us to bring us up to speed. We do countless like CE credits, continuing education credits to keep us up to speed on, what to look for and what to do.
Legacy.
Yeah, legacy. Get back to that. Like that. I was so mad. I got so emotional and mad when they increased that capital gains tax. I was so mad. I knew it was coming, but I was so upset. Like, man, like when do we get a break?
Yeah, right.
Like you guys. But then I started thinking, okay, this is my opportunity to take in the information. It's gonna happen. How do we help out clients to, reduce their amount of taxes? We're gonna pay taxes.
Right.
How do we help them reduce it? Right?
What are your tips or suggestions for people that before this happens? Because I feel like it's inevitable. We all can agree that this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. What are your suggestions to people, let's say, they are not your clients? Mm-hmm. Like, would you tell them like, hey, shut up and come to be my client? I can save you. I can't save you all. But what do you suggest to like the common man?
Specifically?
Yeah.
Oh man, I always go back to what the client wants, and that was always what I taught. Okay, what do they want? And it's hard for me to give like a blanket statement because everybody's different.
Right.
I would say look at how long you want to have this in your family, because if it's a cottage and your kids are not going to the cottage and it's just sitting there, how long do you want to keep it? Do you want to keep it where it's growing in value and eventually you're going to have to pay more in taxes, right? Or do you want to just cut it now? Because the taxes are here. I don't think this capital gains tax or inclusion rate is going to go down anytime soon. I think this is what I think. I think it's payback from COVID. All that money we spent on COVID. Right. Where are we getting this? We gotta.
That's why they're coming out with new taxes. That's what my theory.
Yeah. COVID happened. We spent like madmen. Okay. Okay. Well, we have to
get this money back from them.
We gotta get this money back. We gotta, make up the money somewhere. That wasn't free money. As much as we loved
it. That's not fair. I didn't take serve.
I didn't take serve, but there was a lot of people that took serve, and they're looking.
Listen, they're coming up close to 300
For what?
Revenue Canada employees being fired
For taking serve?
for taking serve.
Oh shit.
I didn't know that one. I missed that one.
They're coming up to 300 employees.
So you see that? Like, that alone, they're looking at, okay, how else can we tax you? Where are we going to get it? Where are we going to get it? And that alone, like 300 employees is ridiculous.
That's a lot.
Insane.
That's a lot.
Insane.
Consider the fact one employee might even work like 100 type of people and stuff at a time.
I will say this: I don't think they should fire them because I don't want to wait on that CRA line any longer. like, long.
Thank you.
Let's work it out with them. Let's not fire them just yet. Like,
don't make me leave. Convince me to stay.
Oh my gosh, the wait time sometimes. Oh yeah, let's keep some of this.
Let's work it out. Wow. Let them work off their debt.
Let them work off their debt. Let them, I don't know, garnish their wage or something.
Yeah, I was saying garnish.
Yeah, just something.
Because at least they have the know-how.
Yeah.
Compared to like getting somebody fully brand new.
Yeah, you gotta
train them. The time it takes to kind of catch them up to speed to whatever that person.
You got to do this. You got let's work this out, CRA man. Let's work this out. Yeah.
I want to know exactly, or without giving out some of the secret sauce from your business, like what happens when somebody passes? Like what's the, like, okay, so we were talking about like, if the person was to die on a Monday, then to the government and everybody, you died on the Sunday.
Yeah, deemed deficient.
What happens after that now? Let's say I hired you. My family is sobbing and stuff, whatever, that I'm gone and stuff now. Do they need to contact you to do anything else? Or we just say like, hey, Marv has passed.
It's automatic.
He said that, yeah.
Things just
or you just pop up and stuff, whatever, like, like Pokeroo.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope that we went through my process and we've got the will in place. We got all of those things in place. Yeah, it's a simple phone call. Like, so-and-so passed away. What do I do now? My condolences. Let's talk about this. Man, you're giving me a flashback because I've had some clients pass, and it's such an emotional, experience because you grow with these people. They're not just a number. You're growing with these people. They're celebrating this. They're doing this, and then they pass. I remember one client, her husband passed, and it was a Sunday, and I'm looking at my phone. It's like, why is she calling me on? My first thought was like, why is she calling me on the Sunday? Pick it up. And I just hear her bawling on the phone. And I was like, okay, something happened. Something happened major. And I was like, you know what? Calm down. Don't worry about anything right now. Just concentrate on you. Don't worry about this money. Don't worry about this. Just concentrate on you.
How often do you get calls like that? Because that might be a lot on you too, as well as a person.
It's this.
It sounds overwhelming at times.
You know what? You
could be just like watching a football game and everything.
Yeah.
Ring ring.
Yeah,
and you're like ushering the damn confessions video.
Yeah. It's happened. To your point, it does get emotional. It does happen. This summer, I think it was 4 people that passed.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's one of those like.
I want to say my condolences to you, but
yeah, no, it's a family.
Yeah, because it's a family thing too, right?
Yeah, so they pass away, and it's initial shock. It's, holy crap, then it's okay, go mode. This is where I come in.
Right,
right. This is what I'm paid to do. This is where I'm supposed to switch because initially, you're shocked too, and you're emotional. You're like, oh my gosh, but now you gotta switch. Okay. It's not about you. Let's figure out how I help that person. I don't want you to worry about anything.
This is where this is at probably the one point where you decide, okay, I'm not going to act like the friend. Now you need me to be the advisor.
Thank you.
Who you hire.
Yes, and it's don't worry about anything. Let me get all the paperwork done. Let me get all of that. I'm gonna take care of that. No, I don't want you to worry because. Think about it, when someone passes away, there's so much going on in their head, and they got to worry about this, and oh my gosh, I got to pay for it. No, I'll take care of that part. You just grieve over.
Just grieve, and I think that's the main thing and stuff. But I would hope because I have a friend, and when his father passed, his father passed like died in sleep, and And when he realized his father passed and everything, they made the call, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." His father was on the organ donor list. They kept calling.
Oh, they want that.
They because they need the organs.
Right.
Because his father's like, yes, donate my organs and stuff to science and everything and stuff. And when I pass and everything, he's like, we're not even getting time to grieve. It's like we're crying and we're hearing the house phone ring and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. And I'm looking at stuff. If there's somebody to say like this, and this, and the people can just grieve.
Yeah.
I would want that the most for like my son and my family members and stuff around as much as possible. Would be like, I would hope them like not to. It's easier said than done, but I want to make sure it's easier for them that I've done the legwork for them, where it's just Marv is gone, everything is in place.
Right.
I would say like it's kind of twofold. It's satisfying and you feel kind of. I'll tell you an example. So, got the check for a client. Husband passed away. I go to deliver it, and it's a great feeling. She sees the check and she's like, "Oh, I needed this. Why didn't I get more?" That was like,
right, yeah.
That was her. She got the check. She saw how much it was, and she's like, "Okay, this is gonna help, but why didn't I get more?" I was like, "Oh wow!" Like, and that kind of changed my process too, because I'm not really a pushy guy. I'm not like an aggressive guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sales.
Was Kanye playing in the back of your head? I'm not saying you a gold digger, but it seemed like you're not messing with no broke.
Yeah, it was just one of those like, okay, I got to really start to focus more on, letting them understand, like, you may need more insurance. You may need more of this. You need, because when she sat there with that big check and she, it was a good check size, but she's like, I should have got more. Because she understood that right now it's only her and her kids. That's it.
Yeah.
She can't rely on her husband. She can't rely on another income. She saw that check and it was instant. She realized, okay, it's just me.
So maybe I should get another life insurance.
I
have two.
Or bump up one of the ones that you have.
Yeah, I think the light bulb winner, I am now a single mom and I have to take care of all this. I can't rely on my parents. It's all me.
Right.
And I think the light bulb hit her when she got that check. And I was like, damn. Like I felt bad because I was like, I should have. And I do follow up, and I have that approach. I was like, hey, look, you need more insurance, you need this and that. This is where we're lacking here. If they don't want to do it, I'm usually like, okay, I'm usually like, but now it's like,
how do you even like foresee something like her husband passing and she's going to need more like something like that. I can understand if he had passed and now you're continuing with her insurance and you say, okay, now that we know that this income is no longer here, you might want to bump up the insurance now just in cover more of what you would have covered if you had two incomes.
Well, what I look at is I do what is called a needs analysis. So I look at all
needs analysis.
Yes.
Talk about
so look at all your assets, your liabilities. We look at your incomes. We combine them together. We take a percentage of that. We stretch it out over 10 to 20 years because we want the surviving spouse to be able to survive without that income or with that income in that insurance calculation. Then we look at your assets. Do we need to subtract that? Are you going to sell a house? What are you going to do, if something were to happen? Generally speaking, people are like, I don't want to sell. You don't want to sell your primary residence. Right. You put that in the calculation, and then we come up with a number from there, and then we kind of figure out, okay, what's the pricing on that? How old are you? What's your house like? All of these, factors come into play when we're looking at life insurance. Yeah, it can get technical, but I tell you, man, like that check, that one with that client, that hit me. The one with the critical illness, when she actually got over her breast cancer, that was satisfying. I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah.
Because I saw her take that money and put it to use.
Right.
She put it into another business, and she's like, okay, she's still healthy. She hasn't got any, the cancer hasn't come back.
Right.
But, she got that critical illness check, and she used it for good, So things like that, it's definitely an emotional game. You can get really into it. You can get really invested. And that's why I say, like, when it comes at the beginning, you want to figure out who that person is. Can I work with them?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a long, like, for me, it's a long, I know guys that are like, it's not a long-term thing. This is about, but for me, it's long-term.
No, because you don't look at your clients as just checks. Right?
No, you
so
can, like,
that's why
you literally can't. Like, it's, I get why an advisor would. I understand.
Right, yeah.
I understand. But
commission.
I
can understand.
And especially if you're somebody who can't handle all the emotional sides to things too, right? You'll probably want to just, no, you're a client, and I'm not going to keep it at that.
Yeah.
I definitely can understand that. It's just, you got to put yourself in that. You're changing these people's lives. I got, I'll tell you a story. I'm going to ish on myself, but whatever.
We're all human, and we're capable of making mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah, coming
growth
into business,
and development.
There were these investment loans, leverage loans, and they're good and bad, right?
Right.
If it's managed well, it can be a good thing. So what an investment loan is, you basically go to the bank, you say, hey, I want to borrow X amount of money. I'm going to take this money and put it into this fund, and over time, you're going to make money. And then I've had clients that bought houses off of that, where they put money into an investment loan, they borrow to invest, and the interest that they're paying, it was a tax write-off, right? And they've let that money sit, and they've made money. The problem I had at one time was this person was not financially stable to handle those interest payments, right? They told me they were, I didn't do a proper
analysis
of their cash flow.
Right.
She told me a number. She can handle it. Let's go. Maybe a year or so go by. Her finances started going down, and she had to collapse that loan. I feel bad about that because I could have done more when it came to, say, the cash flow analysis to figure out, okay, can you actually afford these interest payments? Because at the time I was thinking, okay, this is going to help you buy a house, and it's going to help you get to the next level. Why not? But at the time, her cash flow wasn't there. It wasn't stable enough. So
it wasn't one of those situations where, you were telling us at the beginning of the show, if they don't tell you everything.
She didn't tell me everything. Good point.
Right.
I still feel guilty, but she didn't tell me everything. She didn't tell me, about her cash flow. And time goes on. She's like, I can't afford this. It collapsed, and it affected her credit. Right.
Right.
That's the type of thing where it's like, okay, full disclosure, let me know everything. And that affected her credit. And I felt bad about that. Like, I say that to say, any decision that you make as an advisor, you have to understand this is affecting people's lives.
Yes.
You have to, really get that in your head. These are people's lives. It's not just about the money. These are their lives.
Right. Yeah.
Anything that you're doing, any product that you're putting them in, these are people's lives.
So would you consider it more effective to be a better financial planner if you had more empathy, or you had less of empathy?
Way more empathy. That's actually a really good one. You need more empathy.
Gotcha.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that question. Yeah, have more empathy. Understand their situation. Figure out everything. Ask a lot of questions.
But them too. Like, you can't hear what you don't reveal. So if they're not giving the information like you're saying, then now in my head now, like I'm hearing it earlier, I was like, okay, so now I can't lie to a financial planner now. I was about to say, I have a yacht and stuff in Russia. It's just trapped up because of the embargoes now.
Right.
But I'm planning to sell it whenever I get it. Yeah. So put me in the Billionaire Boys Club, why don't you? But now I realize and stuff like, definitely, you don't lie to your doctor. Yeah. You don't lie to your lawyer. You don't lie to your financial planner.
Yeah.
I mean, as an advisor, you also have to be non-judgmental, and I think that's why people hide things. Like, they want to be judged.
Yeah, they're gonna get judged.
Right.
You're gonna look at me like I know when I first started in the business, I heard some mean financial advisors talk to their client on the phone with some. I'm like, man, this guy's talking to his client. Like, oh, I remember this one guy is like, yo, I'm the advisor. You listen to me and da da da. I'm like, yo, this is how this man is talking. Remember,
Please don't talk to me like that when you get my advice, when you get my business. I beg, because I'm not if you can check some previous episodes, I can get lit too. So I'll be like, who the fuck are you talking to?
I remember a green advisor hearing this man talk to this client on the other line, just cussing him in his Jamaican accent, just going off on. I'm just like, whoa, like this is how you're talking to people. It threw me off, you know.
Yikes!
So you get exposed to all these different personalities as advisors, and as time goes on, you start to cultivate. Okay, where do I sit and where do I want to be? You know,
right.
What do I want people to look at me as? Like, do they? You know, I don't want to be that slimy salesman. You know, I don't want that stench on me. You know, so yeah, as time goes on, you start to kind of evolve and cultivate how you want to be, how you want to be perceived. Yeah, definitely. For me, I've taken huge steps to change. You know, I'm a huge believer in always educating myself because with this industry, things keep changing.
Right.
Of course.
I remember.
I think that's just the world in general.
The world in general. Good point. Very good point. You can't stay stagnant. You can't just sit there and think, okay, everything's going to be
Peachy
the same.
Keen, Sunshine Rainbow is the same and stuff like that. Like, I think, and we speak about this and stuff, how we've got to so far stuff as a human race is we learn to adapt.
Right.
And I think when you lack the ability to adapt to these changing times, these changing situations, this is where your downfall comes from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's so true. I remember one of my teachers when I was doing one of my designation, CLU, that was one thing he says. He kept telling us, like, you can learn this information now, but it could change.
Right.
And it could change. So
Change gonna come.
Change is gonna come. So you got to be able to adapt to all of your clients and do these changes and understand that, hey, and then their lives change. Things change in their lives. So when you're creating a plan, you want to make sure you have that ability to have change. You know, for example, going back to that example with that investment loan, if we had a plan where I knew that okay, she wouldn't have this money, I could have adapted to that change. You know, I could have figured out a way. Okay, we can get out and do this, and that. Okay, perfect. You know, so yeah, change is going to come, and you always have to adapt to it.
Okay. I have one more question for you, and help me tell the people and stuff why Legacy Wealth Advisory is the best place for them.
Legacy Wealth Advisory, it's my baby. It's something that I've took a lot of time to cultivate and figure out what type of emotions I want to come from, investing with me or coming on this journey with me. Legacy Wealth Advisory, just to rewind back, I went to a number of different firms and I've taken a piece of every firm and put it into mine. So when you're coming to me, it's not, like I said, it's just
like a
not
5-point plan.
5-point plan. It's not just a check. I want to know about you. I want to know about your family structure. I want to know where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years, so I can put something together. We could plan for that. When you book a meeting with me, my slogan is "Begin your planning experience." I want it to be an experience when you're working with me. It's not just something. Okay, let's get this done. No, it's an experience. And hopefully, once you do start working with me, you're going to say, okay, let me introduce you to my friend and let me introduce you to my colleague and things of that nature, because I've built that trust with you. So there's a lot that went into that vision. There's a lot of things that I've thought of over the years before I started this company. But I would say, it's trust, it's stability, it's comfort. I want everyone to feel comfortable when they're dealing with me. And just be open to new ideas and something, because things are always changing. So I always look at that. Okay, let's leave our plans open for change. Right.
Okay, nice. Appreciate you, man.
Yes,
I appreciate you guys
Yes.
having me, man. You
No,
guys make me
man.
feel all comfortable and everything. You know, I don't want to.
I mean,
I'm trying to be all stiff, and then now it's
No,
like,
relax. You gotta get relaxed,
Relax.
man.
Relax.
This is good convo. We feel like, and we always tell people and stuff like a lot of times the conversations and stuff that we have on the podcast, every day people should be having these conversations, right? I want to say if it be a taboo about money, because people still consider money a taboo thing to kind of talk about. We don't have taboos over here. So it's just straight good conversation. It's hilariously inappropriate, but it's going to be intellectual beyond belief.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I like the starting of the pod and everything. Man.
Yeah,
we
man.
feel all
Relax and comfortable. Yeah. You're like, I got to come up here and sit up,
man.
put my chin up the whole time and stuff. And you're like, look at this guy right here, said some out of pocket shit right here to my right, and this guy over here laughing over here to my left. This is not a bad place. You're amongst friends.
You're amongst friends.
You're amongst
It's
friends.
definitely
Man.
something I've learned out of that, man. So,
Okay, let's get to the question of the week. Are you ready, gentlemen?
I'm ready.
Question of the week said, would you buy and live in a home where a family got murdered, but is discounted by 60%?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question.
Wait, maybe we should ask a bit more. Who died? Where did they die?
A family got murdered. This man over here, let me explain to you quickly. Previously on the Podical Sons, this one said a poltergeist moment happened in his old house where he was held down. He heard a woman and a child, but he's like, yes,
You did say 60%.
60%.
Have you seen the prices of housing in the market today?
60% is a lot, man.
Get you a Ouija board.
That's
an
a-
exorcist.
That's a great
We'll move it in.
discount.
We'll move it in.
Come on with it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean they're gone, right? Like,
That's,
I mean,
that's savings.
They're
You,
gone.
you get yourself an exorcist with the savings.
what about you?
No.
You're not
No,
doing it?
You're not doing it?
Yeah, I think that the fact, because the fact that the whole thing and stuff, whatever, is that like, I just want to know how it happened.
How it happened? Yeah.
True.
How it happened is if they said like, oh, some prisoner escaped and he held the family hostage and everything. I'm like, well, this is too close to a freaking prison for me. So I'm out.
Right.
Now, if you're telling me like the father, you know, like he went Chris Benoit on the family,
Yeah.
I'd be like, my mental health is good. I can think about that. I just need to think about like get this house blessed now.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, but I don't want reminisce because I have a friend, and hope you're not listening. I hope this is the episode you might miss. In his house or in his like his mom's house, whatever, mad poltergeist little events and stuff would take place.
For real?
And I was looking like, yeah, like one time I saw a woman laying down the stuff in there. So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, your mom did something different with her hair, you know, till I said hi and bye. He's like, my mom's at work. I'm like, so who's here with you? He's like, no one. I'm here by myself. I'm like, well, I'm gone. I'm not Scooby-Doo Mystery. I'm not here to solve no ghosts.
Right.
So I'm looking like, and then we start seeing other things like tiny handprints and stuff on the outside of the second floor window.
Oh, you're making me think
And-
twice, man. Like
Oh!
now I'm like
60% don't sound that sexy no more.
60%. Like now.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, so
but
it's just like, shut up and take, where do I sign?
where do I
60%.
sign? But you're telling me you
With
actually.
him, he's been through
I've-
some
I've-
stuff,
I've-
and he still doesn't care.
6%. I mean,
Yeah. You know what, guys? I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm on the no
I
side.
may have to take. Yeah, I may have to say no.
I'll come over visit you with my rosary on.
yeah.
I'll just rock a
Just
rosary.
come in the daytime.
And yeah, if I see things move around by itself and it's not your cat, I'm
Right,
gone.
You got?
That's the deuces.
60%. That's a tough one. But yeah, I'll have to switch mine back to no. You're seeing handprints. You're seeing.
Boss, on a stack of Bibles, I saw a handprint outside like the window on the second floor area, and it's like not even a roofer can get up there and stuff like to it, or maybe a roofer could. But I looked at it and I was like, that handprint seemed tiny as hell. Like it was like this. It was like a child's hand.
Right.
So I was like, why is it on the outside of the window, but inside here is foggy or it's warm because the heat is wintertime and everything. So he freaked out. I freaked out. He told his mother. She's looking like, the hell is this? So she did a little Hail Mary, and then she hopped on the phone and called somebody, and she came back up looking at it. So I was like, this seems like a family issue, so I should go
This
home.
is time for you to go home?
Yeah, let me just make sure nothing follows me home. But not good old Smooth here. Supernatural Smooth says, shut up and outside.
I don't know if you could bless it enough to get rid of that stuff, but
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, no, I'm gonna switch my answer, man. I'm gonna say no to that. Like now that you brought that up, I'm thinking, yeah, they passed away, no ghosts. I'm good, nah.
Because now, like I want to say, with the rise of AI, and we were always saying that, oh, it's Photoshop. Now we're seeing AI and we're seeing videos and motion and everything like that. And I saw something the other day. I think somebody in like Dublin, Ireland, or Ireland somewhere, possibly. They're in their kitchen and they recorded. The lady's like, yes, it always starts with that cabinet opening first, and all the cabinets would just open and flicker and then stop, right? The lady legit recorded. I'm gonna see if I can find the video and send it to both of you guys. But I looked at it, whatever. I was like, oh, fuck no. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. 60%. It could be a damn 70% discount on that house. I was like, oh no.
Okay, to that video, how do you sell that? Like, how do you leave that house at that point?
Oh, you take the video down and then you call a realtor. Like, yo, let somebody else deal with that.
Yeah, because
somebody like, not your average Joseph's over there. Because you got to at a discount rate.
Did you say 60% off? Did you say 60% off?
I did say, kind sir, I did say 60%. Did I mention 60%?
Did you mention?
Yeah, I don't think that's for me, man. Yeah. All right.
On to Ask the Sons.
That's settled.
That's settled.
That's settled.
Wow.
Let's get to the Ask the Sons. All right. So first Ask the Sons comes from CarmellaB. Can you guys give women some sex advice? Talk about it, Smooth. Go first, expert. No, he claims he's going to make a book on how to do these things.
Don't talk dirty unless you really know what you're doing.
Elaborate for me. I want to know a story why you say this.
Like, and it's not necessarily, just, what was it saying? Just how it was said. It's a little bit too aggressive and not in a sexy tone. So it just kind of looked off, and it just ruined the moment. It's almost like just don't say nothing.
Yeah.
I think for me it's ask and listen, because I look at it stuff as every man is different on what they like and what they dislike and stuff, right? Like I look at it as stuff is where the older I get, I want to say bedroom things and stuff, they vary.
Right.
Like I want to say I had let's say this. In my teenage to 20s, my brain was fixated on like a menage a trois, right?
Right.
And then when that got solved and resolved and everything like that, now I'm not even nowhere near that. I don't even want that and stuff for the kind of thing, because I'm looking at them like, she might do a better job than me. And then both of them go off in the sunset, and I'm here with the lotion and the internet, right? But I look at it stuff as like, it's an ask and listen type of thing, because I think a lot of guys, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like a lot of dudes and stuff, whatever, they might not be, they might be for a good portion of things, but they're looking like, if I communicate this, this might be a problem.
Right.
Like, I don't yuck nobody's yum.
Right.
Because this might be their thing, right? And I might have my thing and stuff, whatever. And looking at Diddy, he has his 1,000 baby bottle thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's for one type of world, whatever, right? Because at first I'm like, 1,000 bottles of like baby lotion. I was like, it might be a shiny fantasy, something I don't understand, but it's an ask and listen type of thing,
right,
to kind of fill that gap.
Right.
So for me, that would be my answer.
Ask and listen. Okay.
You have something, Dame? Or
oh man,
you can help out, or you can pass. Don't be shy.
I definitely agree with you. Ask and listen, and also with you, Andrew, when it comes to being vocal. Like, to your point, you've had like I don't know about you guys, but a woman could say something to me and it just totally turned me off. Like, and you just be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So ask and listen. The sex talk, keep it kind of to the minimal. Like keep it low, like until you start to understand that person and get to know them a bit more.
I like it. I like the talk. Talk dirty to me, but I look at it stuff as where I understand where you're coming from because Dr. Umar wanted to be so proud of me, but I had an interracial moment and some words, her language or her culture and my culture, certain words don't really kind of jive well. Like I want to say, I'm so used to saying like dick in my culture,
right? And
her saying, yeah, but that cock, I was like, it kind of throws off your mind. Yeah. So I'm looking like, maybe I should leave my own culture. I don't know, because it's like we're not using the same kind of language and stuff. Whatever. Be like, so it's not what you say; it's how you say it.
It's
too?
like, yeah.
It's definitely how you say it. I agree with that one. Yeah.
So yeah, all right.
That was actually funny, Dr. Umar.
No, because like it's like
you gotta.
You're dumb. He's just right there, like looming right over you. You're doing your thing, whatever. Like, yeah. She's like, you're a cop. I was like,
Dr. Umar. Black woman would have said that.
Yeah.
Black woman would have said that.
Dr. Umar, man. Like, that meme, sometimes when I see that, I'm like, oh, man. Like,
you hear that Undertaker, doom. You're like,
and he's just looking at you like, that's hilarious.
Him and the Jesus pop over the shoulder meme.
Oh, the
Jesus pop over and look around.
Yeah, you can't say nothing inappropriate. I seen something and stuff, whatever, like, one guy went on some kind of trampoline. He was jumping up and down. Then another guy went on with prosthetic legs. Yeah. And he jumped.
And the legs flew
went
out.
over the fence.
Right, yeah.
I went over the fence. I was like, this is how I saw Jesus me. I'm like, I just put the phone down easily. Just closed my eyes. I was like, how are you not supposed to laugh at that?
Yeah. You gotta, I like that one. That's hilarious.
Okay. Next question comes from Alicia_Stark. What's the best way to start your day? What's the best way to start your day? Smooth. Let's go.
I always start mine with prayer.
Huh?
I always start mine with prayer.
With prayer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else do you got after that?
Stretch.
Prayer, stretch, and then get dressed and keep it pushing?
Shower
and keep it pushing? Okay. How about you, Dave?
Me, get up in the morning. I like to walk or run in the morning. I like to feel that fresh air.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I'll go for a run. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll just be frustrated. But as soon as I do a run or hit the gym,
focus. Everything comes
in focus. Everything kind of clicks. For me, that's it. Being outside.
I gotta. I think the first thing and stuff is I gotta have tea. Like I have my green tea, and then it just kind of gets me into zen, and I like the silence of like that time, because most of the time I have a bad sleeping habit, so like I want to say like I'm a night owl, but then I'm an early riser and stuff too, right? So that's part of my world and stuff where like I'm trying to work on and get the balance on.
Right.
We're not perfect beings, but I look at it stuff as where when I have that morning silence and I'm sipping on like that tea warming up my body and everything like that. This is when I talk to God. This is when I start thinking about like my day, like what I'm having planned. And I'm like, and I always say like, hopefully I have the ability to adapt to whatever that might get thrown at me, whatever, right? Because I have a situation where like driving, even like you're driving to get to work. I feel like everybody got their license from a cereal box. Like no one earned anything, or they have like a different kind of driving style from another place. Yeah. And it's now embedded here. And I look at stuff as I now have to adapt and drive for defense for this. So I'm like, hopefully I have the skill to adapt to whatever comes my way throughout the day. That's what I always say.
Okay.
I love that. That. And let's not get on the driving, please. You could start another episode.
Yeah.
I could go on for days, but
serenity before insanity.
Yes.
Always make sure your tunes is good too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta make sure your tunes is good because I look at this stuff as this person you might never, ever, ever, ever see in your life again. If you don't have a car accident with them, you might never have an accident with them. You might never get a chance to ever see them and stuff again on the road. And there's some people and stuff you do, right? right? But then you just look at it stuff as where, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. You have this level of awareness. What do you do with set predicament? Right? Because you see set person and stuff is probably driving erratic or something like that, or auditioning for like Fast and Furious. Then you look at stuff like, you know what? That's not for me. I got shit to do. I'm just gonna excuse myself. Like I seen somebody come up behind me. You know, I got a lead foot.
Yeah.
I'm out there driving and stuff. I'm doing probably like 120.
Okay.
I'm doing 120 stuff. I'm in the fast lane and stuff, whatever, right? And I always hear him and Ben Dillinger and stuff. He's like, that's the lane is for what? For felons? That people who don't care for, like, you have no problem, you want to pay for tickets? Hop in the left lane. That far left lane and stuff, whatever. If you say, oh, just the passing lane, no. People are now, and on the 401 especially, treating that lane like it's the Autobahn.
Oh.
So me now, I got past a good portion of traffic, and then when I look, there's a guy just like, he's sniffing my exhaust.
Right. Yeah, right up behind you.
And then I seen this, I looked in the thing, and I'm like, is he really trying to high beam? I'm like, you're not worth it. Indicate, switch lanes.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to see this person and stuff ever again.
Yeah.
It's true.
But then you get railed up and stuff. Motherfucker! Who dare you?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's a great way of thinking of it, man. You got to kind of treat people nice, and whoever you meet, and those type of things, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let it go.
If it's negative energy, don't try to have it like interrupt or come into your world, right? You probably got enough things, everybody, that might be more heavy and weighing and stuff on their mental and stuff in any case else, and then this might possibly tip the scale. I don't think a moment like that should tip your scale.
Shouldn't. Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree. 100. Totally agree with that one, man.
All right. Last question comes from Low-Ryda. What is something you regretted you started sooner?
Regretted it? I started sooner?
Or I should have started sooner.
Yeah, you should have started sooner. But you probably do it now.
Right.
Or you wish you would have started sooner. I wish I would probably, knowing with this episode, got a financial planner sooner than before. I can tell you that for a fact. That's not even just a shameless plug, because I look at this stuff as where you filled in the blanks for a good portion of things, and I'm looking like, you were a phone call away. Or you're possibly an internet search away for getting so many questions and stuff answered. And I feel like there's so many people that probably feel like kind of like on my side. They're like, yeah, those people and stuff might shame me, look at me, or make me feel a type of way and stuff. But they're like, no, there's compassionate folks such as yourself. Be like, why didn't I just try and look for compassionate people? If I didn't get the compassion that I wanted, on to the next. Yeah, so for me, that would be a sooner thing. What about you?
Me? Good question. I gotta think about that one. What was you know what? I wish I took this. I don't want to go into that because that is one thing. I wish I really evolved sooner, but that would
everything comes in this time, right?
Can I get back to me in a sec?
Yeah.
Let me think about that one.
I'm always more of getting into my health, exercising, eating more healthier. Like I wish I'd done that sooner than later.
Yeah, because I realize and stuff that a good portion of us, like especially from Caribbean descent, our diets are definitely not the best. Right. And our food is. I'll stand on that. To any of the nations or regions, our food is, because explain to me what a friggin' what is it? Bangers and mash is? UK blend?
Sausage and potatoes?
It ain't no oxtail and rice and peas. I can tell you that.
What's that?
Bangers and mash. Like, first of all, the name, when I ever heard it, I was like, why bangers? They're like, oh, it's sausage.
I think it's sausage.
Yeah.
Sausages and
I've never
mash is potatoes. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I've never. Now I got to do my research.
you probably got a lot of West Indian friends.
Yeah, like,
I can help you diversify that portfolio with friendships and stuff, whatever. You hear some regionals. When I heard that, I was like, yo, bangers and mash. I'm like, nobody banging my mashed potatoes, first and foremost. I don't want nobody to put their sausage or their
leave your mashed potatoes alone.
Yeah. Don't put no sausage by my mashed potato, pause. But I look at it and I was like, some of these diets that they have, it's, I want to say, maybe not that high in cholesterol.
Right.
Right? And I want to say, or it's a balance of proper foods and certain things. It depends and stuff, whatever, on specific culture and stuff. But I want to say, like, for our West Indies stuff, like, I want to say, like, I love the hell out of some oxtail, some rice and beans.
Yeah.
Right? And then you add these other type of things and stuff, whatever, too, and not including, like, the juices and stuff that might go with, like, the peanut punch, the Irish mosses, and all that type of stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
These things are heavy on a body.
Yeah.
You ever had a big Sunday dinner, and then you just felt lethargic as hell?
Right.
It'd be like, either something, but that it's the health thing and stuff where we're eating, I guess, to like overindulge instead of like what we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So portion size is a hell of a thing. And that you are what you eat. And I think a lot of people don't really take that into consideration too much.
That's it.
Yeah. I got mine now.
Got
Fire
yours.
away.
All right.
Manifestation. I wish I started to do that earlier. To visualize and manifest what I want in the future. I always tell this story when I wanted to get my Audi A5. Got rid of it, but that's the car I wanted. And I just started praying, and I had it on my screen, and I visualized me in that car. And then lo and behold, I got to the point where I could get that car. So like things like that, I mean, that's material, but like manifestation, I wish I knew about that or actually believed in it. You know, sometimes you get these gems in front of you.
Yeah.
Like if I tell you the amount of books my dad put in front of me, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and so many books that he would put in front of me when at a young age, and you just put it there, and I'd be like, yeah, okay. Or I'd read it, and it just wouldn't settle in. I wish when it came to manifestation, I wish I really
that part.
Yeah, I wish I really got into it and believed. I think a lot of it is believing. Okay, believing that I can get here.
Right.
For me, like they have this list, top 50 advisor list in Canada, and I look on it and I'm like, I don't see not one black face. For me, I'm manifesting that.
You'll be that black face on there.
Oh yeah, like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, how am I gonna get there? You know what I mean? I'm like, I see it, and not only that, I know an advisor that's on this and on that list. He's
Did you ask him how to get on that list?
But I mean, again, he's been in the industry for 20, 25 years. I did, yeah. He has his strategy and his structure. He basically tells me, pick one thing, keep at it, and keep going.
Keep going.
Be consistent with it.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. We are here at the end. Tell the people how to find you, man. Tell the people how to find you.
LegacyWealthAdvisory.ca. That's where you could find me. Instagram, Legacy Wealth Advisory. LinkedIn, Damian Alexander. What else? What other socials are there? TikTok, I'm kind of
just getting feet wet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a rebranding phase. It used to be Finance with Damian. So everything is moving over to Legacy Wealth Advisory.
Right.
So yeah, that's where you can find me. You can always give me a call. Simple number. My office number, 905-840-2222. Simple. Or
I like it.
416-471-3766. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
And we'll have all the important information listed on our posts
on the
and
episode
so
as well.
So
yes,
if you
true indeed.
Haven't had a chance to write it down or commit to memory, we got you.
Or you can play the whole episode back.
Yeah, you can play it back. You can play it back.
Give it another ring-a-ding. All right, we are here.
We are here.
Then with Associated Sons for the week, a little weekly motivation for them.
Let's go.
Associated Sons this week says, surround yourself with people that want to see you sparkle and shine like fireworks.
So says the Sons.
I feel like a lot of people, especially in this friendship deficit that we keep talking about and stuff in the world is that not a lot of people look at people like they're joyous to be or can't wait to see them to kind of enter the room and stuff anymore. Like I look at like dog owners and cat owners are kind of different kind of people because a dog will like legit wait at the door for you and just look at you like, oh my gosh, you're home, you're home.
Yeah.
When people do that to other people, I think it's a hell of an effect that it would have on a person and stuff, whatever. Because I saw somebody I ain't seen in a minute, but like they knew I was coming through.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, if any case and stuff, whatever, they're like, yeah. So I'm like, I pulled up. They're like, oh, they text me the door is open. So I opened the door and stuff, whatever. They're like, hey, what's up? Yo. He hugged me and everything like that, whatever. Then his kids that came to come hug me. And his wife was like there. I was like, I don't like the energy she gave, but the other three, you guys, hell yeah. Come bring it in for one more time and stuff with her. So she's like, Marv, don't be like that. I love you too. I'm just cooking. I'm like, all right, it's all good. But you want to be around people like that more often.
Yeah.
Because
it's funny when you mentioned that. You said after you said he came hugging then the kids.
Yeah.
Because kids instantly came to my mind. Because kids always have that reaction when they see other kids. They're always happy, and you can see it. You can see the exchange of excitement between the two when they see each other.
You'd be like, oh, such and such is coming over.
Yeah. You see it.
And they go nuts.
Yeah.
Now as adults and stuff, whatever, you don't see it that often, whatever, or everybody's too cool.
Too cool.
To let it go in. But I let it shine. I don't give a damn. I don't care about damn status and judgment.
There you go.
Let it run.
I like that you brought that up, man. Like that's kind of where I'm at too. Like that excitement to see people.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, man.
Yeah, because think about it, if somebody came to you to come see you for business and stuff and your money and everything like that, and they're like, we got $1 million. You're gonna make sure this goes through the family, right? And be like, yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, I'll help you point out. They're like,
they're excited.
we knew you were the guy for the job.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, I am the guy for the job. And you're like, sure, who do you got in mind? Who you want to be blessed? What kind of investments or businesses are you looking at? Yeah. It's a whole nother energy and feeling and stuff. And there's more positive vibes to go out there.
Yeah.
So see the sun.
So this is the sons.
Yes, man. Treat them special.
Yeah.
We are here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, man.
Man, it's a great show. Great show.
Remember, things are constantly evolving and changing in the financial sector.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. To come back and stuff and bless people with more knowledge and help us out, whatever, as well. And hopefully the people come see you. You got a client in me.
I really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me on, man.
No doubt.
Good, man.
All right. Thank you once again, folks. Thank you again for listening to the podcast.
I don't want it to end, to be honest. I don't want it I'm like, yo, this guy got me.
We don't do Rogan 3 hours here.
I'm still here, man, but, I get it.
We do some time. But yeah, once again, folks, thank you for listening to Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Peace and love, y'all.
The Podical Sons with Not Your Average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.